Hello.
And welcome to Talks Around the Teapot with ever so special guest / host
Rio
Llewyn. Hello. It's me hosting again.
What a time.
What a time.
What a time in our lives. For context, because we film in advance and release episodes, sometimes long after we film, depending on what our schedules have been, me and Rio spent all of yesterday catching Rio up on everything, basically since, just after the engagement to the Viscount,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, basically just after that. And,
So you've had a time this last few days.
we had to take breaks.
Uh-huh.
It was tough. I needed fresh air.
Yeah?
How many walks around the room did you do?
Oh, so
You know
many.
what? I was on the floor. I was walking
Yeah,
across the
you were
room.
up and down a lot.
There were moments where I had to apologise to Taya because I was like, what are you guys doing? And why are you doing this? Because it makes no sense.
That was the point where Rio was like, I just want all three of them in a row so I can be like, you, and what are you all doing?
Just to have a little shake and just be like, get yourself together. And then after the four episodes I've seen, the things that I'm hosting on, I feel like that happened. I feel like there was a shaking because you guys... I'm less, agitated by your characters at this point.
That's
And I'm
good.
really happy. I am really happy with that
That's
because
good.
I'm a combination of, the girl's biggest critic
Yeah, which
But-
they need.
and also, I want to be their biggest supporter too because I have...
Seth.
Seth in the back of my head, so I'm like, no, they're lovely. And then, Rio's sitting there watching their actions,
No,
yes,
they're not.
They're not, actually. Yeah. But
Paul or Seth?
we're not here to talk about Seth.
I'm
We're not here to talk about Seth. We're here to talk about what happened starting
We
from
will
episode...
talk about Seth though. I will.
We'll start with
At some
episode
point.
46. That's the episode...
That was the first
That's the
one
first
of this
one.
month.
Which
Yeah.
started with the end of the battle.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
that feels...
Christ, yeah.
This day that's happened.
This has all happened in one
this
day.
month.
Every
feels
time.
so long.
Yeah.
It started off with, you being approached by Richard and Madam B. And it appears that...
That
the
half
Ratcliffe...
smile is foreshadowing
That's for later.
later.
That's something we'll get onto later. But they were talking, and it appears that the Ratcliffe runners are basically done with. They're no longer going to be a problem in the campaign.
I'm so retrospectively mad about all of this.
About what? What are you mad about? That you beat the Ratcliffe runners?
No, that all of this stuff with the Ratcliffe runners that Madam B has
Yeah.
caused.
That's fair.
But again, we'll get
Yeah,
there.
that's fine. We'll get there. But it appears that will no longer be a problem for you guys, even though it wasn't.
It
wasn't really our problem.
Yeah.
Wasn't a problem to begin
One
with.
thing-
And then we're still under house arrest. They're still no, we need to protect you.
Shut up.
And really I thought that was the point of
Yeah.
the whole point was
We just shot a whole bunch of people so that we have no one to be protected from.
Yeah.
Surely.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a bit concerned that we still have yet to confirm the location / living existence of the third murderer.
Yeah.
Because you've killed 2
Oh,
out of 3,
yeah.
and the third has not been mentioned.
I do have a
That's
question.
true.
I do have a question for you about that because I am curious watching it, how satisfying was it getting rid of the second one in the war? Because on your face, it didn't look like you were satisfied with it. Maybe I was wrong, but it
really.
didn't.
I'm very scared right now.
Just because I don't want to be the third one.
I don't know. I think I was just in a very I kind of disassociated a lot of it, and I was just going through the motions. I wasn't actually
Yeah.
feeling anything. Girlie has been apathetic
Yeah.
for a while.
But I think, because what we were saying when we were watching the end of the battle, when we were binging it yesterday, was that what seems to be a recurrent theme on the show at the minute is that revenge isn't satisfying, because we had it with Eloise, and then it kind of felt like we had it with Agatha a little bit. I don't know, it's interesting.
It is interesting.
I just think it's going to be really satisfying when I kill the Viscount though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be different. That's a whole different thing.
For a moment, and this is jumping ahead, but it's relevant to what we're saying, when Madam B was you don't know the whole of it, there was a moment where I was really you set up the people to shoot Thomas. It's your fault because you literally did
What
it.
the
There was a moment where like Talia had that thought, and I was like,
Could you? If she was,
I could have killed her.
I would have.
yeah, me too.
I think if anyone else in the house found out about it, they would have problems
Yeah,
with
yeah,
that.
yeah. So I'm glad that she didn't do that.
Yeah.
But there really was a moment where I was like,
Jeez.
Maybe because Thomas is earning so much money, it's competition to
No.
her.
no. I just think
Because they have
They
I
have
just-
different
no,
clients.
because it's just like if you were to go after anyone in the house, like Thomas is probably the most beloved of all of them.
Yeah.
Because
You know?
Thomas is like inarguably, I think, the best person, like the
Yeah.
most pure one.
Yeah.
So like if you are gonna go after anyone in the house to cause a war,
I suppose. Yeah.
but that didn't
That
happen.
actually just makes me scared about the way Talia sees the world.
Yeah. I mean,
It's actually not a nice worldview to have.
no, it's
but, like,
very negative. It's,
Yeah.
But I do
But
want
that was like your first thought.
Oh, yeah.
I love her though, and I love you so much. I
Maijai-
don't like Rosalind. I don't like Rosalind.
I love you. Okay, shall we carry on?
Well, we did, yeah. I want to go back to Rosalind because we did go back to Rosalind, and you figured out something about the necklace. You did.
Fuck me and or Rosalind and her jewellery that doesn't come off of her.
Yeah, no clasp. It's
I
not
hate
coming
it.
off. Yeah.
I
no,
hate it so much. Wearing that thing, and it got progressively worse because I've hated that since it was first like put on me. I hate wearing it at the table, but like it throughout these 4 episodes, it got so much worse. I felt like it was started burning me. Like it got heavy, and then when you were talking about dog collars, I was like, oh yeah, that's me. And then like yeah, it just was getting more and more like constricting. It felt like, and I hate it. And I just hate that like there's actually nothing I can do because what I expected, like my theory was that it was going to hurt me if I tried to take it off. Like I'd either have to throw a wisdom save and wouldn't be able to unless I like made the save, or it was going to give me like psychic damage. Psychic damage! But like, actually, there was nothing I could do because there was no clasp, it doesn't come off over the head, and I can't do any kind of spells on it because I'm going to hurt myself because it's on my neck. So like...
What if you put your hand like this and then like shot radiant bolt out that way?
Maybe I'll try that. But I just don't think it's gonna work. And that didn't like. Her thought as soon as she saw that was like, "Fuck!" Like I'm fucked because like that's a magical thing that happened. Like she saw it had a fastening. The Viscount put it on her.
Yeah.
So like it did, and then that disappeared. So like the intention there is that this is a magical object from a being like so unimaginably more powerful than her. Like she was really like, oh, there's no way I'm getting this off myself, you know.
Butter.
It's just like
Yeah. And then you tried to put. Well, no, you didn't. You half used the ring because you didn't put the ring on.
I tried to connect to the eyeball god again.
Yeah.
Because again, that was very prompted by the not being able to get this off because I was like, fuck, someone help me. And it didn't because I rolled like shit. When will I ever roll good for connecting to
You
the eyeball
will.
god?
You'll talk to people and you'll roll well, but when it's stuff that's like important to you know getting stronger.
Yeah. And the thing that sucked about it was that like I don't know, like Lyndon just made me roll anyway, but like. It was really different from the last time she tried, because the last time she tried, she was, like, actively praying, like, out loud. And this time she couldn't do that. Like, I don't know why. She couldn't bring herself to do that. I think because she is just different now. Like, she's a different person since the engagement. Like, it's made her think about a lot of things, and she has a lot of different feelings she's dealing with now. And she couldn't really bring herself to, like, pray as she did when she did it the last time. So I was so silent for a bit, and I was like, I hope it's coming across to the audience that, like, internally I'm, like, really fighting to connect to it. Like, I'm not doing nothing. I'm not sat here, like, not doing it. But it, you know, Lyndon did make me roll, and it didn't work. So, yeah. And I wrote the most horrific note ever.
Oh no, you're right.
I wrote, Father's God has left me. Father as God is leaving me.
What the
Brutal.
I mean, you didn't.
Insane.
And then I saw the cravat and I was like, fuck me, no.
Love it. You throwing the cravat. Oh!
I knew you were going to enjoy that.
I had
It really took me by surprise because I was like, okay, she's tried to get this off, like, she's trapped, like, she's physically trapped now. I tried to appeal to, like, the one powerful being that sometimes helps me, and it's empty, and there's nothing there, and no one's helping me. And then, just, like, yeah, it just occurred to me, like, as I was describing her, like, just giving up and trying to, like, shut down and sleep, this fucking crap just being there, and, like, she's not processed everything with Frederick yet, but she's starting to feel anger. I don't know if she recognises it as anger yet, but there's so much, like, oh my god, fuck you, like, where were you, like, this whole time? Why am I in this position? Because you fucked up, like, why is, like, and everyone else gets to be safe, and all the other men, and my brothers, as always, everyone gets to be safe, and as always, I'm sacrificing everything I am for you, and you're never gonna care, and you're never gonna give me anything. And, like, she's not articulated it that clearly, but she's feeling those feelings now, which is huge for her. And I just don't like that this is what it took to get her there.
It is really funny because I can say my theories and my thoughts, like, on the show to you guys, but I can't say what I would have done because I don't want to influence the story in any way. And there's
you can now. We've done it. Like,
no, because this is the thing that I'm thinking is something you can still do, so I don't want to say it.
Is it put the ring on?
No, I wish it was that simple.
Okay, because that's the other thing. Like, she couldn't do that. Like, one,
No,
she still doesn't trust that it's not going to hurt her because now she's got this other fucking evil piece of jewelry stuck on her, and two, like, again,
I don't even know that you've been given the ring.
No.
Sorry, carry on.
But, like, the ring is just such a horrible, like, empty reminder of, like, loads of really bad things in her life now, that, like, the ring is kind of also Frederick, and I actually just don't want to put it on. Because putting the ring on for Rosalind really symbolised, like, wanting Frederick, and, like, wanting to be like Frederick, and wanting Frederick's, like, that was everything. That was her whole Act 1 thing. And, like, she actually can't put that on again. So if putting on the ring is what's going to help me reconnect to this god, it's just never going to happen.
Yeah, but, like, you don't need to wear the ring to have access to all of your magic. So, like, why would you?
Yeah. But, yeah, yeah.
Doesn't give me hope for Rosalind's future. All else, that really
What
doesn't.
the fuck?
No, because where else are you going to get, like, because you have the magic that you have, how else are you going to get stronger?
I don't know.
No,
I just
you
need
know.
to keep
I think you know.
learning and leveling up.
Yeah,
Learn
how
from
are you
who?
gonna
Who are you
learn
going to
and
learn
level
by?
up?
Who are you going to learn by?
Listen, I got through 4 episodes without multi-classing as a warlock.
Oh, yeah, do you know
Are we
what?
all proud of me?
3? You weren't even
Oh,
in
yeah,
the last one.
I forgot Rosalind wasn't in the last one. No, that's true. But, it is what it is.
It is what it is, I guess.
Frankly.
Yeah, it's fine.
Because we forgot to say these 2 leveled up at the end of the battle.
Oh yeah.
So you
yeah.
guys are level 5.
Yeah.
now.
I'm
You're
level
multi-classing,
4, yeah.
but you
Level
have
4
5 levels.
fighter.
Yeah. I am still
Fighter.
little level 4 sorcerer.
I didn't know that.
What do you mean you didn't know that?
What the? No,
You didn't know that?
I didn't. No,
Oh,
that's
we've-
shit.
oh yeah, because we've said it on Teapot before, but we've never said what your multi-class
Yeah,
is.
that's true.
anything.
It's fine.
Where's your good secret then?
The other note I put down is Talia is capable of being a good friend because that you showed it. Oh, don't give me that.
No,
face.
wait, I'm trying to remember what I did because I know that she can be. But
Because you were very supportive to Agatha
Talia's
the
been
entire.
amazing
Like, it's
to
been,
Agatha this whole time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is good. How do you feel?
gave me a little cuddle. I did.
Lyndon being like, oh, you wake up in the arms of your lover. Oh, wait, no,
Oh.
you don't. Oh, like,
That was
use me?
That was
Because that's a
brutal.
parallel to, like, what happened before.
Oh, when he was like, you wake up in
the arms of your lover, you wake up alone. Or, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm connecting.
I've connected them.
You ain't connected to shit.
That's horrible.
That's awful.
Yeah.
He's evil.
Lyndon's horrible.
But it
He's
was
not
really
him, I
lovely.
I'm glad that you felt supported.
Thank you.
I hope.
Thank you.
There's a reason why I put capable of because it's you're at any moment I'm scared that as soon as the Thomas situation is like no longer the pressing issue, Talia's going to be mean again. Yeah, see,
Yeah,
you're-
I'm scared too.
yeah. See, it's so
I'm
like.
just like,
It's
why
valid.
would she be?
Huh? Why would she be mean in the first place?
I know.
It's a valid fear that I too hold.
Good. Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one. I really want the best friend. It really, you did all I want to say is for the 4 episodes, I think Agatha once again MVP.
This
Very
is
much
Agatha's
MVP.
world and we're all living in it at
It's
this point.
genuinely
I'm obsessed with her.
very much
Main
MVP.
character for real.
Alright, be humble about
Yeah,
it.
humble about it.
I don't like Rosalind.
Yes.
There isn't much else, I guess, in that episode because there was a lot of you two getting ready for like the funeral, going to get ready to go and see Rosalind like the next morning and stuff.
It was
all
like
warmed
immediate
down.
praise. Like it felt
Yeah.
very like, you know, when you're just in shock. I
Yeah.
feel like that's how both of you were. for, like,
I
the whole
was
thing.
really scared, but I'm so glad that Talia like took initiative and was the one informing people because for the past however long I've been like, oh, I'm the one that needs to tell Rosalind, I'm the one that needs to tell Albert, but then you like you took that control.
Oh well, I was really like, I'm not gonna make you say all of that.
Yeah.
Like that's awful. And like if it was the other way round,
Yeah.
Talia would not have been able to say it.
Yeah.
So she was really like, didn't want to like step on any toes. Like she'd always sort of check if you wanted to speak,
Yeah.
but then like you didn't. So she was like, okay, that's fair, like valid.
Yeah.
I'll do it because it's not like, it's not the person that I'm in love with. You know?
Yeah.
Like I love Thomas, but it's not like
But this is your
this is
thing,
my
yeah.
partner.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think. Oh.
Richard saying
Your fiance.
fiance.
No, for real.
Like
I think I know the reason why for that
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
It's purely just because it's like everyone knows Thomas sleeps on. So if they say Thomas's fiance, they're like, oh, this
It's
is Thomas's
real.
love.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of like, it was,
okay.
it
It's
was
the
like,
same
Right,
reason
okay.
I think that like Agatha said it to the guy in the street when it happened. You
Right,
were
yeah.
like, he's my husband because like
yeah.
there's no
Yeah.
other way to like explain it.
I didn't want people to be. I didn't want people to like slut shame us
exactly.
Yeah.
So that's
and
kind
like
of
not help us. So
Yeah.
I said that we were husband and wife.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Okay, that makes sense
Yeah.
then. Yeah.
But the thing I really liked about Talia,
And they didn't really have a
Like-
word for girlfriend, even though I used it.
Mm,
In
you
canon,
use it
our
all the
world
time.
does.
but like I really just appreciate that every step of the way Talia was just checking in with Agatha, and it was always just a case of like, look, what do you need, and I'll do
Yeah.
it for you.
I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
the final notes I have for this episode is Rosalind's pathetic arc.
Is that not just Rosalind's arc?
Well, no,
All
because it felt like in that episode, it felt like when you were talking to
That was a horrible episode for me, actually.
Oh
I
god,
remember.
she was awful!
That was when Lilith was just really fucking mean.
Yeah, you reverted. I could see it through the screen. I could see Rosalind revert back to how she used to be.
Rosalind really became like child Rosalind for a bit with her, and it was horrible.
Yeah.
She was so
Like,
mean.
This one, I'm so like, I have no idea what's going on with Lilith because like last month she was like trying to seduce Rosalind, and now she's being horrible like overnight.
Talking about
Like
your mother.
this
Talk
is
about
what
your
I
mother
mean.
being that girl backbone. Maybe
Yeah.
some common
Yeah,
sense.
no, stop! Because like I was gagged, like
No,
as
same.
Rosalind, because like Rosalind didn't know where she stood with this person, but like it was so different to how it had been the last day, and like because she appeared and she was like, right, it's time to like start our lessons. And Rosalind was
What
like,
lessons?
okay. And then no lesson happened because she was like, all right, show me what you can do then. So Rosalind was genuinely like, okay, like, and then she didn't mean that. Like, what did she mean?
As a viewer,
Mm-hmm.
you got the impression that she was asking to be shown magic, right?
It felt like no matter what you were to do, it was
would've
the
been
wrong
wrong.
option.
Yes. Yeah,
That's
which is
how it
like,
felt.
oh, I'm back at home, you know? And she knows that because I'm telling you, the Viscount has showed her all my letters from when I was 16 years old. Like, I hate it. And because the thing was, like, she looked around the library because she was genuinely, like, she wasn't being stupid. Like, she was genuinely like, oh, okay, what spells am I going to do that's not going to be bad? Like, I can cast light. Like, that was going through her head. And then I think what Lilith saw, because I talked about it with Lyndon afterwards, was then she had a moment when she was looking around sort of trying to work out what to do. She was suddenly like, oh, I could destroy some of the Viscount's things. And it was just a split second thought in her head, and I think Lilith immediately caught that and was like, no. But the things that Lilith, like, this is why I'm just like, Lilith knows things about Rosalind, because like, the things that she said were so specific that like, basically you're stupid and you're a coward. Like, those are the things that Rosalind is told and like believes about herself. And those were basically what was said. And the thing that I'm actually boggled by, and the fact that Lyndon like actually isn't in the room while we're filming this is kind of annoying because I need to like talk to Lyndon about this because I have no idea how he did this. The specificness of the comment about growing a spine, because like months ago I had a whole thing that I'd overheard Georgiana say just come fully formed into my head, and it was basically that. Like, it was the phrasing of it being about growing a spine. Like, that's literally a Georgiana comment that has been in my head for months. And Lyndon doesn't know that. I've never told Lyndon that.
I'm scared.
Isn't that scary?
I guess that is really scary, unless he's been, like, whispering it to you.
Sleep.
Like,
Grow a spine.
No, but, like, that was so... And that's why, like, Rosalind immediately started crying. Because... there was also a point where I was like, why are you being so open with that? But, like, it was because she was suddenly right back, like, with her, like, as a child. And, like, it was mental. And that's why, like, I think Rosalind started the mother talk, actually, because she said that, and Rosalind was like, that's what mother always says. Like, Rosalind was just, like, immediately going into a state. And then she was just horrible. She was like, tell me about your mother, then. Tell me about your mother. And I was honest and cried.
I was really proud of her though, and she was like, "Is this really necessary?" You know.
No, that was so sad.
It was really sad, but I was really like, "That's a step."
She's trying.
That's a step. You know, it's
Yeah.
not like actually setting your boundaries and not having people cross them, but
No,
like,
but for Rosalind.
but for like, it's a step. It's one up from
Yeah.
before.
Like, I was surprised that she said that, and I was surprised at the way she said it because it was really
it
quite
was
like
quite
forceful. No, because it was really like, can you not see that I'm like crying right now?
Yeah.
Like, what's the point of this? Like, but she kept going.
Demon.
She kept being like, oh, do you want to be like her? And like, you can be more than her. And that actually did get Rosalind from, but it's whatever. But I don't know why she was so mean and made me talk about Georgiana, because that was like the meanest thing she could possibly do. And like, why did she do that?
Because she's
That was
literally
horrible.
Mother of all demons.
That was so horrible. I'm really like,
My baby.
that was
girl.
horrible.
But then you got a knock on the door, which leads into the next episode.
Actually, then we went for a walk in the park for no reason.
Oh, yeah,
And then
you
you got a
went for-
random
yeah,
message
that's
in your
right.
head.
Oh, yeah. We're coming
We need to-
over.
No, because it was, let's start your lessons. No lessons.
No,
happened.
this is
Okay.
when is
Let's
this,
just walk in
No,
the
because-
park instead.
when is this bitch ever gonna teach me anything? She was just like, okay, tell me about your trauma with your mother. Okay, no lesson. Like, when are you gonna teach me something?
When you grow a spine. But it's fine. Huh?
whoa.
I'm not being mean. That wasn't mean. That was me. That was fine. That was me channeling Lilith. It's fine.
Yeah.
But you know, then there was a knock on the door after the walk, after you were informed that something needs to be told,
Yeah.
and that leads into the next episode, where you two were down and Richard was waiting on the street.
Mm-hmm.
Big up Richard.
Big up
Love
Richard.
Richard.
Although he's probably going to end up being fucking questionable and bad now too.
I doubt that. I think he's just a soldier, and you know,
I agree.
I think he's just a good soldier.
But we can't trust anyone ever in this game.
And we'll get to that when we get to that.
Sorry.
But yeah, you were finally informed of Thomas's
Mm-hmm.
disconnection.
What
From
the fuck?
I'm the only person on this table who hasn't used it in some sort of context.
He was disconnected from his lifeline.
Exactly. But okay.
My God.
But yeah, it was really emotional because I was watching
Yeah.
that and I was like crying behind the
Oh.
scenes, just because it's the way it was all happening, and then like the way like Rosalind reacted, because Rosalind didn't know and obviously wouldn't know. But like there was that brief moment where I could see where Rosalind was like, it wasn't because of what I did, was it? But
Yeah.
like it's very clearly it was told it happened beforehand.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know,
Talia was very aware of that.
yeah.
Yeah.
As much as she could be in the state that she was in, but like when she was saying it, she was really like, no.
Yeah, she was like, oh, it was before.
It was. It's what started it. That's why we did that.
Yeah.
It was not you at all.
Yeah. That was so. It was just like. It's just like seeing your face like for the first time as Rosalind, because this is the thing, like I've been watching you like play this out for like the whole time we've been filming it,
Yeah.
except for when I wasn't at the table. But like, it's just different having like Rosalind see you in that state. Like, it was horrible. Like, it's so not nice. And Rosalind just was so in shock. But like, Rosalind actually didn't process it and it didn't feel real until like the middle of the funeral, which was when she started like sobbing, because she was just like, that's so abrupt to just be told.
Yeah.
No,
And,
literally.
And for so much of it,
But,
I was,
there's no
like,
way.
the only response I could have was like, well, I just need to be with Agatha.
That-
Like, there's
which
nothing
is
else
exactly
I can
what
do.
Taya
It's
did.
like in real life when someone dies, like there's that
Yeah.
moment of denial where you're like, oh,
Yeah.
but they'll just walk through the door
Yeah.
sooner or later,
Or
and
it
then
just doesn't feel
and
real.
then it takes quite a while to be like, oh yeah, they're never coming back,
Yeah.
are they? So it's
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it was the middle of the funeral for me that hit, for Rosalind,
Wow.
that hit. But,
I don't know if that's hit before
yeah,
Agatha yet.
which makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But then you two met Lilith for the first time.
Yeah.
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 You also saw Rosalind wearing a weird black pearl necklace.
Yeah, but we
Yes,
didn't
I
comment
was
on
very
that.
aware of it
Yeah.
the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
I
just-
don't think. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say it was bad.
Yeah, I don't think. I think Agatha maybe saw it, but just didn't.
I mean, Agatha was in a state. Like,
yeah.
yeah. Because I think the thing is, I'm at least grateful that it looks obvious.
Yeah.
Like, it's obviously something bad that's,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
been
Because
put
that's
on
the
her.
only. Because the only reason.
Because it's
Talia-
pearls.
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
thing that, like,
Yeah.
that she's associated with trauma with the Viscount.
It's one,
Like,
it's pearls, and two, it's black.
yeah.
Like Rosalind doesn't
Mhm.
wear dark
Mhm.
colours,
Mm.
and it was really
and
like.
it just clashes with every part of her aesthetic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Met her for the first
Yeah,
time.
which wasn't fun. And it felt like one of those situations where it's like, if it was any other situation apart from Thomas's funeral,
Yeah.
a lot more could have happened
Yeah.
in
I
that scene.
think so.
But it purely was a case of like, we can't do this right now as much as I'd like to do this right now.
Yeah.
Um,
'Cause
which is so
how-
annoying because I don't know any other circumstances where these two are going to come in contact
No.
with you,
With her.
with her.
Except, I don't think I can ever go out without her unless I
Yeah.
sneak out now.
Which is really annoying because my plan, my like plan that Talia would have had and like was sort of the plan anyway. Because Talia's plan was like, go get you, go to the Brotherhood,
Yeah.
catch up, then go to the Masquerade. And while we were at the Brotherhood, we
I
could have
could
had
tell
identify
everything.
on the
Yeah.
necklace, figured
Yeah.
out what that was, been told
Yeah.
everything. But that's too easy, and Lyndon's not going to allow that.
Yeah. How was it for you two, like, interacting with Lilith for the first time? Like, because you both rolled on her, didn't you? To, like,
Yeah.
And I couldn't tell anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just got like a. When I rolled insight, it was more of an appearance thing rather than like a feeling thing.
Yeah,
So-
that's fair. But
I
But
just
yeah,
know.
but then I
just
did
know that
manage to
it-
tell you some things.
Mm.
Yeah, I just know that it was weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely a weird vibe. If
Yeah.
like if nothing else was understood, you know.
You went to the Brotherhood and you informed.
You fucking talked about the Brotherhood in front of
Oh
her.
no, the
Yeah.
the
You were
way
like the Brotherhood.
the way that like as soon as I said that and I saw Maijai's eyes,
Agatha made a fuck up.
Agatha made a
Yeah.
fuck up.
the minute I saw Maijai's eyes, I was like, shit.
Yeah.
You know that one Maisie Williams April Fool's trick where she spoils Game of Thrones and like how
Oh
quick.
yeah.
I was like,
yeah.
oh my god, that's like that, but for real. Like this is an April Fool's.
My thing was like, I feel like that silence went on for so long.
Yeah.
Like it
And
was
the thing
obvious
that was so
I
hard was that
fucked
like
up.
Rosalind was like, no, it's fine. Like she definitely already knows what that is because like she knows all about what Frederick was doing and like the whole point was like the Brotherhood has failed and she's like making the Viscount do it because the Brotherhood has failed. But like I couldn't say any of that with her in the room.
Yeah.
Like, and I could feel the panic and I was a bit like, oh shit. But at the same time, I was like, she just knows. Like, there's no
Yeah,
point.
but I also didn't want her to know that like
We were going there.
we have a base. This is where it is.
Yeah.
We can get to it
Yeah,
from here.
because that was the thing, was the location.
Yeah.
Which was why Talia did really good to be like, well, I'll go there.
It very
Yeah.
much did feel like the fuck up was it was more of a confirmation. Because
Yeah.
obviously
Yeah.
Lilith knows
Yeah.
about it, but it's confirmation.
But it's like no,
that
there's
it's-
actively
there's
still people.
actively still one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, like, I don't think they really care about the Viscount, because in my head, they just see themselves as being so above the Brotherhood, because they're like, the Brotherhood failed, they didn't do a good job, so we've taken over, you know?
Mm.
But, like, I still don't want them to know where it is.
Yeah.
Because that's, like, our safe place.
Yeah.
Do you know what I always think is really funny?
Mm.
Playing Talia. It's
Just
like
playing
Just
Talia.
playing Talia.
Lol.
it's like for someone who can never speak. Sometimes she really comes in and is like, I can do it.
Yeah.
Randomly.
Because she can in situations where it matters.
But she also can't in situations where it matters.
I don't know.
I think it's when, like, I don't know.
I just feel like when it's a situation like this where, like, someone's dead and we're all grieving.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's always really dire circumstances that Talia is just fine.
It's either when it's something that affects something really important to Talia or something that doesn't affect Talia at all in the slightest. That if it's somewhere in the middle, that's when it becomes difficult to talk about.
Yeah. Do you feel seen?
Sometimes when it's really important things, I can't talk about it.
Yeah.
But that's when it's like personal things.
Yeah.
When it's really important, that doesn't directly affect.
But again, it's like, this is really important to somebody that's really close to me.
Yeah.
So, like, it's like I can't change my order, but, like, I can do it for my friend, you know? It's that sort of thing.
I just put down the note of I think, because it was really funny, because when you had that moment of, like, telling Agatha all like, the information you'd been told, you kept on saying it being a sentence, I think, and I was like, I'm pretty sure they said outright.
Yeah, I think
stuff.
you've been told that.
Like, they've been told straight up.
No, they did, but she's also just confused by it, because, like, she doesn't know really what that means still. Like, I don't know. She's a confused girl. But I really didn't like the whole process of asking Lilith if I could go. And it was such a hard decision on whether or not I was going to do it. And Rosalind was actually very willing to just leave and not tell her until you said, don't you need to ask someone? And then I was like...
My bad.
And then I was
My
like,
bad, guys.
oh shit, yeah, I should. But
It was just like, I don't want you to get hurt and beaten for not asking people.
Because Rosalind was so... she almost said, like, well, I'll just go, because, like, the only person who's going to get hurt by it is me, and, like, I don't care, I'd rather be there. But, like... What? But, like...
And then Charlie's like, well, go fucking ask then, I guess.
Yeah, and then she just did it.
Yeah.
And for a minute, I thought I'd gotten away with it. For a minute, like, I rolled really high, and she was like, yes, of course. I don't, like, that's a horrible situation, like... And then she was like, let's go then.
Yeah, she was like, yeah, of course, let's get dressed.
Yeah.
I would feel like, no.
But... now we know.
Yeah, this is the thing. Now we do know what the situation is, and next time
You
I
won't
can't
ask.
have her with me, I will have to sneak out
Yeah.
and then deal with the consequences. Because I think the reason Rosalind like listened to Talia and like rationalised it, like the way she rationalised it, was that like, oh yeah, whatever the time is that I sneak out, I then have to sneak out forever because like they're never gonna trust me again.
Yeah.
So like, you know. But next time I just think she will because this time was so like...
But...
you know...
Yeah. But again, like, this situation was awful. But if there ever was going to be a time where it's okay for somebody to come along with us...
Because it was just a funeral. It wasn't a plan. It wasn't
we weren't doing anything. Yeah. Like, it would have been great to have been able to catch up properly. But at the end of the day, what we were doing was this funeral.
Yeah. And I actually couldn't have caught up or done anything because it was so just like it all had to just be Thomas and like about Thomas.
So like...
I need to like kneel.
It was a good tester, actually.
We'll get to that.
But like, it was good to know where you stand on something where it doesn't matter what the outcome would have been.
Yeah. And
you've readjusted now. I've realised how uncomfortable.
Yeah, I need to kneel. But yeah, she stayed a respectable distance. Like that was her whole thing.
Yeah.
But like,
no, she stayed a respectable distance
she was
when everybody else left.
Yeah.
Because that was my thing too. Like she didn't actually stay a respectable distance, only when there wasn't a crowd.
Yeah, and once again, like she's just so. Every time Lyndon has her just like casually do magic, I'm really like, oh, she's so. You know, I'm like, oh, she can just do what she wants all the time. Because like she changed the colour of my dress. To black. Like, just the dress I was wearing was suddenly different. Prestidigitation. Oh, the Viscount, like, prestidigitationed me. Yeah. That was weird.
Yeah.
That was weird, because it was weirdly, like, a nice thing for him to do. Because, like, it
very
wasn't.
out of character thing for him to do.
I just don't think he wanted blood draped up in the house.
Yeah, that's true.
Because, like, Rosalind was obviously really traumatised when she came back. She was just like... and, yeah, he, like, got the blood of her, which was weird. But, yeah. I think he was just like, oh, you look gross. Like, we can't have that.
Yeah.
You're getting blood in my sunroom. but yeah. So she came with us. And yeah.
Yeah. Before we start with the funeral conversation, I do want to talk about your trip to the Brotherhoods.
Yes.
Just real quick, very quickly.
Lucas!
And honestly, big up Lucas for like even attempting.
Yeah.
No, I'm so proud
That was
of him.
such a
Same.
big step for him.
Because, like,
I love Lucas
All of
so
you thinking
much.
that I hate Lucas.
Okay. It's fine.
What was that?
No, it's fine. I maybe I just misremembered something, but it's fine. It's not hate. No, I thought you hated Lucas.
What did I do?
Just annoyed by Lucas.
Yeah, but that's different.
Yeah, I know. So
Talia really went from like not understanding PTSD to like being the most understanding. Because last time you were just like, why does he not do anything? Can't he just get over it now though? Like Rosalind's still traumatised and doing stuff. Like he should just do stuff. Like the whole prison thing, you were just like, I just think he's pointless. Like he's actually not useful. He should just do stuff. And then this time she was just like actually really
Because
nice.
we needed him to do stuff that time. Because I think...
Selfish reasons. Why am I not surprised?
No. Yes, absolutely. But like...
I love her.
I think her point was just like... You're the only person that can do this.
Yeah.
You know, like that's what the annoyance was there. Was like, there's nobody else who can do this. It's only you. Whereas this time it was like, actually nothing lies on this. There's nothing hanging on like
it's just
your
like
ability.
it's nice if you come to the funeral, but like you don't have to. Yeah.
I don't know. Something shifted.
Yeah.
Because she had that really nice conversation with him, like.
Yeah, when Rosalind left.
Yeah.
Because he was like, "Why did she do that?" And you were actually really nice and like explained it.
Yeah. I don't really know what happened. Something happened.
Something happened, and now you're.
I feel like something changed in her though. Like something happened with her somewhere in between.
It's either
It's like that was when she was in rage mode at everything. Actually, when she was being really mean to Lucas was when she was like.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because that was like right after the moonball stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas
Like now she's just destroyed and soft to everyone, I guess, but not to everyone. But like.
Talia just hurts people to show that she can, but like sure, But then I do think that like Thomas's death has just put stuff in perspective for everyone. Like I don't know if I can speak for everyone, but like it feels to me like when I'm outside of the scenes with you two, like watching it, for Talia it just seems like she's really like it's just put stuff in perspective. I don't know. That's how it looks like.
It's really from the outside perspective. It's like
which is like
it
why
felt
she's
like you
nicer
guys.
to people.
It felt like you guys before Thomas's death forgot how dangerous and urgent things are.
Yeah.
Maybe you guys feel like you didn't, but like as soon as Thomas died, hit the pavement, ever since then it's been a case of like, oh no, this needs to get done. We need to get this done. We need to make sure the funeral's sorted, and then after the funeral,
do you know what
it's
it
very
is?
much...
It's the Thomas's death has been like, do you know what, actually we need to put aside all of our stupid things and be here together, because actually we're in this together, the three of us. Even though Rosalind is like kind of separate from it at the minute, like I actually think the whole thing is like the group has just realised that the group is important again. You know? And that like we're actually all each other has, because actually every adult betrays us and nobody else is good. But like we'll get to that later.
I don't want to worry anyone.
Great way to start a sentence.
I'm worried.
Yeah, so am I.
But like
I'm scared.
one of the reasons that Talia's really good right now is because she's being really like, we need to make sure that Agatha's okay. So she's like not looking at any of her things really.
Yeah.
So like
Well,
yes,
obviously.
the group is really important now, but like also.
Wait, because Talia can like put it away for other people.
Yeah.
She can't for herself.
I'm scared.
So what did I write earlier that I mentioned earlier? Oh, Talia is capable of being a good friend. So yeah. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I know this.
And I love Talia, and I love Maijai.
Same.
I'm just a bit scared because I really like the dynamic at the moment, and I don't think it's gonna last.
That's really sad, because I kind of hope that this would like if the least it can do is just bring us together a little bit.
I think but this is the thing. I think the group dynamic is gonna stay the same. Like I think, but
it won't if Talia goes mental.
yeah,
If Talia keeps up with her bullshit.
we'll see.
Because Talia going mental always hurts Agatha.
Yeah. because we've had a very rocky relationship since the beginning.
Yeah.
And I feel
And
like
whose fault is that? Martha. Sorry.
yeah. We need to talk about that.
Yeah.
Maybe now that Harold's back.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I was like, oh, spoiler, but I was like,
They've
I've
watched
seen
it.
And if you haven't, why are you here?
that maybe we can have, because we kind of opened up a conversation in last month's batch of episodes, very briefly,
Did we?
talking about mothers.
Yeah. Is that when Jonathan was like,
Yeah,
my mother left me when I
Jonathan,
was
yeah.
9?
Very briefly.
Yes.
We very briefly opened that conversation about mothers. We just haven't
Yeah.
gone deeper. But it is scary because Talia is a very, like, strong-willed person. And Agatha is a very jealous person.
Yeah.
So,
It's not really a good combination.
No.
Is it?
when something happens, girlies get bitter.
Yeah.
And it's really just like, I feel
Both
like,
of them are so predisposed to bitterness.
Yeah.
And grudges.
and I
actually.
feel like Talia and Agatha are really either like,
Mhm.
absolutely like, we're a unit and we
Yes,
work
yes,
together
best
and like,
friends, we're
best
the
friends,
same,
like,
yeah.
like buddies,
Reading
like,
each other's minds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
or there's such a
Mhm.
barrier in the communication between them and the way
Yes.
that they are with each other. Like it's really one or the other, and
Yeah.
there's kind of not an in between. It's
Yeah.
either like
At all.
we're great or like
We hate each other.
Get away from me.
Yeah.
You both just need to grow up a little bit.
yeah, for real.
Yeah,
for real.
yeah.
Sometimes I remember that we play children.
No, literally.
Yeah.
So the funeral. I do want to get onto the funeral because it was really touching and beautiful.
It was
Sorry,
so-
one more point before the funeral. I was really quite shocked when Jonathan said that he would like take care of Lucas, and Talia was like, no. Like
I
it
wasn't.
Yeah,
I wrote a note for that.
I was
wrote,
like, Talia was the one who was dealing with Lucas at that point. So like.
I wasn't.
Yeah.
No, the reason why I wasn't shocked by that is because I wrote down the note. Her hatred of Jonathan will eventually get in her own way. Like truly, but that's no longer a problem. We'll get onto that later. But like genuinely, at that moment, at that whole situation, because what I would have done, and I don't know if this needs a DM, I would have given you the choice of either you stay here with Lucas and you miss the funeral, or you allow Jonathan to.
No,
take
that's
over.
what I thought Lyndon
That's
was
what I
gonna
thought
do.
Lyndon was gonna do.
But he was not.
Well, yeah, me too, but because when he was like, that's why Talia misses the procession, I was really like, oh, you don't understand what I'm doing actually. I'm not staying with him until he's okay. Like, Jonathan's coming too.
Yeah.
I just need to make sure that he gets back into the Brotherhood.
Yeah, and what I would have done is every time you try to go near, he, freaks out again and wouldn't have moved. That's what I thought was going to happen. But that isn't what happened, so we don't have to worry about it.
I'm so glad that Lyndon was like, oh, that's when you eventually show
No,
up. I was so
same,
prepared
same.
to postpone everything until you were there.
Literally, my only plan was like, oh, I'm just like, clearly he can't move. I'm just going to carry him.
Yeah.
Like, how's Jonathan going to carry him?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that
I'm glad that
Jonathan
didn't come.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised that Jonathan didn't
Same.
come.
I didn't want him there.
Jonathan's like very anti-sex work to be at a funeral for
Yeah,
sex workers.
exactly. That's like
Like you actually don't belong here, Jonathan.
no. Like Albert can come because he's my brother. I was like, Lucas is a nice guy. In my head, I was like, Lucas probably won't come.
Yeah.
But like, it's open if he wants to.
Yeah.
Jonathan,
No.
fuck off.
Yeah.
Yeah, the funeral itself, no matter who there and who wasn't there,
Yeah.
when you arrived and, changed the clothes.
Oh my
of the-
god.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
I wasn't expecting him to already be in the casket. I was like, because like, I was like, if he's on the floor, like I can just like move around him to get changed. Knowing that he's in the casket, I'm stuck in one place having to like maneuver him the whole time. But like,
You
I
did
made
it.
it work.
I mean, he was either going to be put into the casket or already being put in the basket. Either way, the clothes are getting changed, so
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So.
it's just a bit more fiddly one
That
way than the
really-
other.
Yeah.
That was really
That
so
was-
much,
yeah.
actually.
And then the whole Paresh. Obviously, knowing Thomas as a character, obviously very well loved.
Yeah.
The fan mail, obviously.
That broke me. The funeral really.
The amount of people
Yeah.
really surprised me. Because I thought it was going to be like a small, like I thought it was just going to be the people from the Velvet Masquerade and us. Like, I thought that was it.
See, by
Maybe
the time
a
it
few
got to
people-
the funeral, I realised how the funeral was.
Yeah,
gonna be.
but like,
But I
when,
suppose...
like, because I told fucking Lilith, I was like, oh, it's not going to be a procession, like, it's just a...
Yeah.
Like, it's... And then it was a
But
procession.
I suppose that, like, I think the majority of the people there didn't actually know him personally. I think that word got around that someone had died and there's going to be a memorial for him.
Maybe.
And people came together.
I like to think that a lot of them then knew
Yeah.
him, even if just in
Yeah.
passing.
Even in
'cause-
passing, because he was
Well,
such a good
yeah, I
spirit.
suppose,
Yeah.
yeah. Like, they probably knew him from around Ratcliffe,
Yeah,
but
they knew
didn't
him,
know
like, in the
personally.
community.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the reason why I don't think is because people in Ratcliffe die all the time. They're poor.
Yeah.
Like people, like
Yeah.
if they,
That's
if,
so
if funerals an
true,
everyday
yeah.
thing, like people die all the
In
time.
my
and
head,
stuff.
because
Yeah.
in my head that was so Lyndon making a choice on like, no, this man was an angel. Like he was so
Yeah.
loved and so good, and like so many people had care for this boy. Like
Yeah.
you know.
I just remembered Zach.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Sorry.
you mean Thomas's best friend?
Yeah.
Zach's speech really broke me a bit.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too.
Because it just like every time I remember that everybody at the Velvet Masquerade has this really like interwoven like past from before us, I really get like
Yeah.
overwhelmed with love for them.
Yeah, you're. It's so funny because it's like it really the funeral really established like these people existed and had their own problems and wars before
Yeah.
you guys came along.
Yeah.
You guys are just here for this part of it.
And like Zach's speech really like I don't know like I was really reading that as like oh like Thomas was good to Zach when everybody else was like homophobic and
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
transphobic, you know, like
Yeah.
and like it just really broke me a bit.
Yeah, it really was. The speeches starting off.
Mhm.
First speech, Richard. Obviously, he didn't have a lot to say, but like I still think what
I
he said
love
was important.
Richard. Yeah.
I loved Richard's speech. And I loved yours.
Yours.
Oh, I was crying. I was
Oh,
crying
yeah,
like a
me
The
baby.
fact that you didn't even like remember what you'd written.
Well, no, because between episode 42, when Thomas died, to episode 47, which that's been 3 months since we last
Yeah,
filmed.
we've had
Yeah.
like
And
really mental personal lives and we've not been able to
yeah,
film for ages. It's
I-
been torture actually.
I wrote that letter in
In
game.
game. I remember
Yeah,
watching
yeah,
I
you
did not-
write
I
it.
did
You
not-
wrote it sat at the
Yeah.
table.
And like I haven't been in this house
Mhm.
since we last filmed, so I have physically not had that
Yeah.
letter with me. So reopening it, I was just like, okay.
Yeah. I don't
Um,
think we've ever had the level of all three of us like sobbing at the table as Thomas's funeral,
Which is fair.
which makes sense. And
Yeah.
again, it
Yeah.
just brings me back to oh my god, like Thomas is actually such a beacon of like light and love in this story.
So he had to go.
Unbroken, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
But it was so beautiful. Like watching you do that really
It was.
destroyed me, but it was so beautiful.
It's a shame the speech.
Somebody, I was going
followed
to
it.
say, someone else had a speech, didn't they?
Yeah.
There was a speech that was followed
Mhm.
by a lovely woman. So what are your thoughts on that? Because I have mixed.
I was
have mixed
furious.
thoughts. I have mixed
I'm
thoughts.
mad about it.
Yeah, after we wrapped up that episode,
we got a little break. We
yeah.
were like, "What the fuck was
we
that?"
were all stood outside, just like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
It was
Like-
how much it was.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because I thought she was done with it, and she was saying something else, and then she'd go back to
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Like, and then she'd pause and be like, "No, again, I'm sorry. Again, this
Yeah.
is my fault."
Yeah, like
And-
shut up.
Like, it made me so angry. Because I'm like, you're allowed to feel a bit responsible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. You're allowed to say that in your speech and apologise to people. Sure, it's annoying.
You're
but
not
sure.
allowed to make the speech about you instead of Thomas.
You're not
Yeah.
allowed to make that be the speech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are your stories?
Uh huh.
Where
Where's
is
the
your
love
anything
for him?
for him?
Like the point of a funeral
Mhm.
is to remember and celebrate someone's life.
Yeah.
And then
Like why are you
Yeah.
making it about you?
Yeah.
And then to make it for fucking politics?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really. It makes me so angry, but at the same time, I'm really like. It is cool to see how flawed Madam is because she's somebody that we've held on such a pedestal for so long.
Mm.
At the same time, it does suck that everybody these girls idolise ends up fucking them over in some
Yeah.
way, and like we can't trust. Another note I wrote was all our heroes fail us, no adults are good, but that's about a later on thing. But it started with this speech and her response to us.
No, because that was my thing.
That's the thing that broke me. Was that like, I actually don't think there's been a more beautiful moment with all three of the girls than when we were all like, then it's my fault and it's mine and it's mine.
Yeah.
Like that was lovely, and I'm like, for her to just not acknowledge that at all and just be like, then you're all fools.
Yeah.
Like,
because that was it as well. It's like
talking down to us.
Yeah. Because like I'd often
when she's the only adult that's never really talked down to us.
Yeah.
Before.
She's been like trying to bring us up and say, no, you are worthy.
Yeah.
You are worthy people, and then just stand there.
Because my thing was, is like, do what you want for like your public image. Like that wasn't for anything other than for us.
Yeah.
Why? What was the point of that?
And like, if it hadn't been Thomas's funeral and it hadn't been the wrong moment, like Rosalind had so many things to say.
No, say.
Because like, how can you sit with me for the length of time that you did, trying to impart on me that I'm not to blame for men's actions?
Yeah.
And then you do that.
Yeah.
Because like, that's the opposite of everything Madam has ever put on us.
Yeah.
And like, Madam had such a positive role for us in making us realise that, and then she just did like the opposite of all of it.
Yeah.
And I get it, like I get that it's hard, like I do understand her as a character and I think she's so interesting.
But
And-
there's a time and a place.
But like, as and for the girls, I'm so angry.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say something.
You're going to say it once and then you're not allowed to.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just going to say it because I'm saying it because I'm very conflicted about the whole. Because very much I agree with you.
Yeah.
Like I do very much
You've
agree
always
with
had
you.
interesting thoughts on Madam, because I remember when she was first introduced, you were like, I don't like
Yeah,
her.
all I
I
can
don't
say
trust
is,
her.
all I can say is, remember that. So very much there is a time and a place for it. However, I've had some time to sit and think about it, and I've taken a step back from it, disconnecting from the girls, disconnecting from everything. And I'm not saying that this is right, and I'm not saying this is correct.
Yeah.
I think in her position of the power she's in, it was a tough call for her to make, and she had to make it. Can I finish?
That's why my hand's up
Yeah.
and I'm not just speaking.
It doesn't mean I fully agree with it and all that stuff. The war had ended the night before and she had to calm the people around her.
Yeah.
She had to make a decision. Once again, I'm not saying if it's the right one or the wrong one to make. It was a decision of, I am the person who had started this whole situation. And once again, I'm taking accountability for it. She should have stopped right there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
100%.
She didn't have to go on as like to the length she had to go on. And she's from a place where, once again, Ratcliffe people die every single day.
Yeah.
And no one gets a funeral like this every single day in Ratcliffe. The perspective of rich people, a funeral is a place of just mourning.
Yeah.
In a position of poor people trying to get power and keep power, it can't be that always.
Yeah.
So there's that perspective of it.
Yeah.
Once again, I'm not saying it's right.
I think you're going to make the same point I'm going to make. So.
I do want to hear it.
My point is, I agree with you, she should have stopped earlier. With all of that, absolutely,
Yeah.
I understand where she's coming from. When she then spoke
Yes.
to us privately,
yeah, that's not me.
That's my point.
I'm not arguing
that's
against
what
that.
I'm angry
Because
about.
I can understand her
I can
reasoning
understand
for that.
all of that.
It's the
And-
doing it to us in
yeah.
private when nobody else could hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I didn't
Yeah.
mention that point, because
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
disagree with that. I
Yeah.
do not disagree with that.
Because I get everything that you've said. Like
I agree, yeah.
I understand
Yeah.
her and why she did that. She didn't do it in the best way, but like
I get it.
understand using that moment of everybody being there and having like a chance to give a speech to
Yeah,
try and
yeah.
bring it into it. I understand all of that.
However,
not
to us
like
alone.
we're actually not the crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know that we've actually got a different
Yeah.
dynamic.
And it was, for me, it was the us trying to like be like, no, you don't have to be like that to us, and then her being like,
I was
no,
just saying who said it first, me.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then it because it wasn't even just like disagreeing with us because it's one thing to do it to us.
Yeah.
It's another thing to then not listen to us.
Yeah.
And then it's another thing to respond the way that she did.
Looking down on us, like, patronising
was-
us like children, basically.
Yeah.
Like,
Wrong.
oh, well, you're all more foolish then than
Yeah.
I thought. Like, that's the way adults have always spoken to us in this game, and, like, she was the one who didn't.
Do you know what I was kind of quite like quietly proud of though? Is that I don't think any of the girls took that on. I think all
No.
of the girls were really like, actually you're wrong.
Well, they all
about
said that to her.
Yeah.
They were all like, no, I don't accept that, I don't agree with you, and that's not what Thomas would have wanted, and you're wrong, and
Yeah.
you said the opposite to us. Like,
But
all
like,
the girls,
I was really
at some
proud
point,
of
I
them.
think, were all like, no.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's why I think that whole thing, from a story, another step back, storytelling perspective, not even in the world anymore, she had to do that just to prove how far the girls have gone.
Yeah,
True.
yeah,
I hadn't
yeah.
thought of that.
No, that is good, actually.
So, you know, just...
Especially with what then happened with her and that
Yeah.
storyline. Because that really just pushed that point
Yeah.
even further
So
with
we-
how far the girls have come.
Are we going on to the... Because that's basically the next episode.
If that's
Yeah.
your
'Cause,
note,
like,
yeah.
Like, the end of the... I mean, you had the voice in your head saying, there's another way to... But, like, fuck that,
Yeah,
really.
shut up.
Was
Yeah.
that her?
I don't think that was Lilith. I think
No.
that was the Morning Star.
Yeah. Because
That's
you've
what I
heard him
thought.
before, I swear.
No.
It was a female voice, was it not?
It
I
was
didn't think
Lyndon
so.
doing a posh voice.
I don't think it was.
And that could be
But
seven
no, but
times.
I don't think it was
But I
Lilith.
rolled insight and I was like, is this someone that I met earlier today?
No,
You said-
you-
yeah.
no, it's you said that I like have heard earlier or something.
No, and
They
Lyndon
mentioned
said
today.
it might be.
Oh, did
They
Lyndon was
mentioned
like,
today,
Yeah.
Lyndon was like, maybe you're sure. Lyndon didn't say yes.
Oh.
I thought they said, yeah, sure. Which could, from Linda, could mean anything.
I think that they didn't confirm it. Like,
It's
and
e-
I
it's
do not
either
believe that
Lilith.
was Lilith.
It's, I think it's, I'm with you, I think it's
I
Lilith.
don't.
I
I think it's Lilith.
I thought it was.
Yeah, I think one of
I
them.
think-
I
We just
thought,
doesn't-
it was her trying, because she's
No.
getting control over you. I
No.
thought she was like trying to.
I actually don't think Lilith gives a fuck about either of
No.
you. And
Oh,
I
okay,
don't
fair
think
enough.
Lilith was trying to. I don't think Lilith had any reason to
I
want to
think
bring
no,
Thomas back.
because
No, so that I'm in debt to her.
but
But she doesn't really care about that.
No, it cares about you and...
the Morning Star is the devil. She has a plan to try and sort stuff out on the other side, which is
Yeah.
the plane that the Morning Star is from.
No.
They're definitely enemies,
Yep.
and they're going to do it through us.
Yep.
And the Morning Star is coming after you and is
Yep.
trying to get you.
Yeah.
And Lilith is trying to get Rosalind.
I agree. I
Because
agree
no,
with that.
no fucking demon needs to come after Talia.
Already a demon.
Yeah, I suppose.
I think it's Lilith and I can't, my mind can't be
That's
changed.
another thing, is that the Morning Star card was under my plate earlier today. It never got brought up.
That's why I also think the voice in your head was the Morning Star.
Yeah.
Because Lyndon likes to do shit like that.
Let's do a...
Well,
I don't see a reason it would be
regardless of
Lilith.
who it was, I didn't like the voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
No, I was so really proud of Aggie
Yeah.
for that. Because Aggie was just like, no, like no, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
If it happened right after Thomas's death, how, like, if, like, right
Like
after
before
it
you
happened,
went to Duna.
Before you went to Duna, if you got a voice in your head saying, we can bring him back, you just...
Yeah, I would have thought it was that.
And would you have... Do you think... Just because this is a what-if situation, so
Yeah.
it doesn't even matter anymore, do you think Agatha would have gone with it?
I mean, probably, because she
Yeah.
wanted to do it anyway. That's why
Yeah,
she asked
yeah,
Duna.
Yeah,
Duna
that's
talked
true,
her out of it.
yeah.
Because like
Yeah.
after the when we broke the maester out,
Mm.
like we saw necromancy, so we know it exists.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
we know it's not like bringing people back to life.
Yeah.
We know
Yeah.
they're not them anymore.
But I knew that there's a possibility that you can.
do that.
Yeah, but Duna talked me out of it.
Yeah.
So if I'd heard that voice right after Thomas had died, then yeah, because I was susceptible to it.
Yeah.
Thank God.
But
Fair.
but at this point, no, I'm not, because I know
Yeah.
that it's not going to.
What's that top one?
Agatha established that she has to say what she has to say. The thing walking into the room.
Yeah, no, because that was,
No, that was so
good.
good.
But,
Also-
no, because it was Talia being like, no, this is pointless. I'm not
Yeah!
gonna do
So just to establish what we're talking about, because I don't know if that got lost in all of the translation. Beginning of the next episode, after the pub, the funeral, everyone went back their own separate ways.
Yeah.
They went up to speak to Madam B, and
No, I love that you were giving up. You were like, it's not worth it. And then Agatha was like, no, I need to do
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
And like, you didn't even look to see if Talia was. You were just like, I have to do this regardless of anything else.
it's like a thing for like, this is for me. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. This is fully for me.
Yeah.
And
I love
I
it.
did like that they had a bit of a talk beforehand though.
Mm.
Well, because like Talia just wasn't going to say anything, and then Agatha was like, "But what was it?"
Yeah, but the thing is like Talia wasn't going to say anything because at that point it was it was about Agatha and Madam B, and it was
Yeah.
between them, and then it became about Talia because of what was said. You know, like Talia was brought in because then
Yeah.
it was about like stuff that really affected you.
I meant before we went and saw.
Yeah,
her.
yeah.
But yeah.
And we're back.
Okay.
back again. No, that can't.
Guess
Um,
who's back.
But yeah, so you had the conversation, and it
So
led to
It was so good.
it.
Agatha's face and
Yeah.
voice and presence when
Yeah.
she like
I'm going to be completely honest with you.
Well, no, yeah.
And quite frankly, it was selfish.
What did I do?
The door's open.
Oh, the door's
That
open.
wasn't you,
Yeah.
that was us.
I was like, the amount of time she's like, oh, you need to be honest with me.
Yeah.
And like, how... In all honesty, I feel like Mandy doesn't really like Agatha that much. I think she loves you two. I think she loves you
I have
two.
something to say about this.
I also have something to say about this.
Do you want to go first?
I think
because it might be the same thing I have to say.
I think it's not a thing of like, I think generally speaking she respects you the most.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's definitely the most respect for you because it's. I mean, was that the same?
Yeah.
My mate sort of. I mean, I think she sees Agatha the most as an independent person.
Yeah.
And like as an not as an kind of.
I
as
think
an equal.
that she thinks that Agatha needs the least amount
yes,
of help.
Yeah. And I also do think that like from the start it's been very obvious that Agatha was always obviously like Agatha's straight. Agatha was always the least like affected by Madam in the way that she's used to affecting people.
Yeah.
And I think that from the start she was like, okay, well then we don't really have anything because like she sort of tried to connect you and I feel like you didn't give her much and then you like always try and lie to her and I just think that like it's not that she doesn't care for you, like I think she did come to care for all of us in her own way.
Yeah.
I do think that but I just think that it's been clear from the start that you're the least involved with her in like any way, and she just meets people on their level. Like she's given that back to you.
Like
whereas we've both needed a lot from her, so she's given back to us. You know.
I think she's seen like. Yeah, no, I think she said it. I had a point and then it went.
If, because you guys will know what I'm talking about. Maybe you won't. Not you. When Lyndon was like, oh, this is why Agatha lies to Madam B.
Oh yeah.
That makes too much sense, and it would make sense. Lyndon was like, the reason that I lie to her is because she's a mother figure.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Oh.
And
That's
I've
pretty good.
grown so used to lying to my mother
Yeah,
that I
yeah.
just lied to Madam B. And I'm like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Why did you do this so like discreetly
I
on the show?
don't know.
I don't know.
We'll edit around.
Yeah.
I'll make it look nice.
Yeah, but that's why I was like, you know what, you've been, like, right, back to the point I was going to make, I don't think that she likes me all that much, because when I have been upset, it's been like, no, like...
Oh yeah, because when
like,
you were crying,
yeah.
she was like, stop crying,
Yeah.
and then when Talia was crying, it was like, you're soft,
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
strong, like...
Yeah.
So,
I think it was different. But
It was different.
So, like, when she's always been like, oh, you need to, like, tell me the truth. So I was like, okay, you want to hear the truth? I will tell you the truth. What?
That was really fucking gay. I think
It's
that's
gone,
fucking
I've got it.
gay.
It was just like a bit of fluff.
Okay. So I was like, yeah, I'll tell you the truth then. Here's my truth. You're a
It was
bitch.
so
It was
good.
so good. I'm so obsessed with Agatha Pentecost at the
Me
minute.
too.
This is...
It was.
I'm sat. Like,
it
I
was-
was so seated.
I was sat, so up behind the scenes, you don't know this, I was sat on a very comfortable sofa. And at the beginning of the episode, I was relaxing, and I was, quite frankly, my legs were up, and I was just sitting there across looking at the screen. And then as soon as I heard, let me be honest, I was like, something's going to be said. And something was said. A lot was said.
I was really like frozen like this. I was really like, I shouldn't be in the room, but like
Yeah,
I can't
no, that was
leave.
so good.
What really surprises me though is that Agatha doesn't raise her voice.
No,
I love it though.
when- like,
I don't need
that's so
to.
scary.
He doesn't need to.
Because when I was saying like, oh, I'm just talking how she usually talks.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's actually.
But that's so powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's actually nothing scarier than somebody's
It
anger
actually-
like just being the
Mhm.
same volume as everything
It
else.
actually
Like,
gives
I'm actually
me
terrified.
goosebumps.
Yeah, it kind of freaked me out a little bit. I was like, wow. But like,
I also made that noise.
I
when
just
freaked out.
kept feeling Taya next to me going,
I was gagged. I was trying so hard
but
to
I
keep it.
thought I was seeing your reaction
You know
to
it's
my
bad.
peripheral.
You know it's
And I was
bad when
like-
Lyndon has to be like, Taya, just
Yeah.
calm your face
I was
down.
like, am I like Taya makes that noise when I'm eating, as in like
Like serving.
serving. So I was like,
What I thought you meant just like when you. Taya
Makes
makes
that
that
noise
noise
when
when
I'm-
I'm eating.
I was
I
really
was
like.
so confused. I
really
know she
like-
doesn't make that noise for mundane things, actually.
but I was like, I'm not like
Serving.
I'm not serving.
I
slay right
you
now.
fucking served harder than anyone's
Yeah.
ever served on this show.
No, literally.
Wow.
I was the biggest slay of the show.
Yeah.
I'll say it.
Okay, slay.
Until
Until.
your biggest sort of after.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh my
Agatha
gosh.
has been nothing but slay. She's been slaying it out of the park.
Yeah, it was
MVP of the
But it's
show.
across-
it just surprised me. It very much surprised me how like
It didn't surprise me.
I don't know.
But like, I can see why it surprised you. But like from the outside, I've sort of always known
Yeah,
that that's how
same.
Agatha's gonna be.
Same.
Yeah.
Because like Talia's anger is very like loud and aggressive.
Yeah.
Rosalind's anger is very like.
Rosalind's never felt her anger
Exactly.
before.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll find out. Because
Yeah.
we're finding out.
Yeah.
This is the most anger I've ever felt as Rosalind.
I guess
Yeah.
maybe that all my anger has had to be hidden
Yeah.
before, so it doesn't come
So
out.
you do keep it on this level of like, you know, because that's the only way you can express it.
If I show that I'm angry, then that means I'm committing a sin, and my mother would never allow that. So, however, my anger will just be possessed this way.
Rio's so scary, actually.
Okay, I'll go fuck myself.
I
Wow.
think my bad. I think, but like
No,
it was
you hit
amazing.
the nail on the head then.
What do we do on this show if not like absolutely obliterate each other through like scathing character analysis of imaginary people?
Yeah, my media literacy really is like a sin sometimes. It's not good.
My
But
media literacy is a sin. It's a curse. It's a burden.
but
I was so obsessed
it
with
led
that.
No,
it,
same,
it
I
led
was
to
playing.
it led to for me. This is one of the biggest. Like, there's been a lot of shocks and twists and surprises on the show.
Same.
But this was one that even someone who doubted Madam B from the beginning, I wasn't expecting this.
I was.
See, I'm
Fuck
not
off.
surprised. Like,
What with the whole poison thing? Like,
Yeah.
Really?
So I've thought since it happened that there was a potential that she's the reason that the policeman is dead.
Damn.
From the get-go, because she was the one being like, I'll sort it all, I'll make sure it's all okay. I
never thought she'd kill him. I thought she'd like bribe some people.
Yeah, bribe some
Yeah.
things. Or
I mean,
sort some other
I don't know
things.
if I thought that like she had been the one, but like there's still a chance that she wasn't the one. She just got somebody else to do it.
That's
Yeah.
what I think. She meant.
yeah.
She
Yeah,
sent
yeah.
a poisoner.
But I have thought from very early on that there's a possibility that actually she's the reason that he's dead. Like since it happened.
See, I'm like really shocked by it. More from the perspective of, I can't believe she let Talia feel that for so
That's
long.
the thing. That's why I'm
More
shocked
than
by
I'm
it.
surprised that I'm not surprised she did it.
Yeah,
But
that's-
I'm surprised at how she let it be emotionally on the girls. And
But,
I'm
like,
not surprised that another adult failed us. That
Yeah,
didn't surprise
But
me
you're
because this is
talking
the world we
about
live in.
you're talking about honesty. You want honesty.
Mhm.
No, for real.
Like you're a fucking hypocrite.
Yeah.
You make me feel like shit.
And
you
you
make
said
Talia
that.
feel
You
like
were like-
shit.
Which one of you said that
I
I think
called
you're
her
a
a
hypocrite? And she was
hypocrite.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, I am. And I
Yeah.
served.
I don't know about you, but I really, like, some of the things that came out of my mouth towards Madam, and like the way that I reacted was just really not what I thought it was going to
It was
be.
so good.
Mm-hmm.
And
What
like,
did you think it was going to be?
I don't know.
Because I don't know what else it could have been.
But she was so like, I think she went, like,
She went through it all.
she went
quickly.
through so many emotions, because when she said that she'd poisoned him, Talia was like, huh, funny. Like, that's kind of lol. Like, oh, I think maybe I do get you. And then, I don't know, but like, there was so much in it that wasn't. And again, it was this like, I actually don't care about your politics. What you did has really hurt, like, not really hurt, but like really
Yeah.
angered my friend. And like, because I'm a selfish git. And like,
I'm just glad it can be admitted now, to be honest.
no,
Because you're here to hold them accountable.
But they just I don't know. She reacted very differently. She said like, I just kept being like, just let it go, just get over it, just let it go, and like she wouldn't let it go, and I was like,
But why would she?
Just
And
let
also,
it go.
when has Talia ever let anything go?
I know, but I don't know. I just sort of thought that she wouldn't care as
I
much about
think
this
it was
or-
Madam was just she just seemed so defeated. Like I think the fact that she told you because like obviously you rolled really high and that was amazing. Like Lyndon said, if you hadn't rolled a 20, that was something that he was never even going to reveal in this campaign. We would have found out after the campaign that she'd done that, and like that's huge. But then within the story world, like it's just so interesting. Like Madam B seemed so broken, and that's like what like she didn't even care. Like she didn't seem like she cared much about how much it hurt and how much damage she'd done, and like she cared obviously because she was like, everything's my fault and I fucked her, this is so bad.
Yeah, and
but,
I get that.
But that broke her so much that she was then just like, yeah, I've been
Like,
shit.
yeah.
Like there's nothing else I can say, and I can't even try and save this relationship, and I'm not even going to.
Yeah.
Like,
here's the truth.
you know,
Here's the truth.
she kind of gave up on
She
the
didn't
on the
feel
girl.
broken
It's
to me.
very much from the outside. It very
Well, not
much.
broken, but like she'd just given up. Like
It
on
was a case
this
of-
whatever this is.
It was very much a case of like everything happened. One of the people closest to me is now dead because of
Yeah.
everything that happened. At this very moment in time, you guys are angry at me, so I'm going to lay it all out, and then the decision is yours
Yeah.
to make.
I was
like,
really
I
like,
really
I
kind of-
fought
yeah,
your
like-
battles for
But
you.
she
I would
also
have
said-
done anything.
She also said how she wanted to be like Rosalind on top, like she wanted to be like
Yeah.
Kate, and
Yeah.
she wanted the magic.
Yeah.
So for me,
Power.
but that's another thing. Maybe that's why she didn't like me
Selfish.
so much, because I have no magic power.
That made Talia so angry.
No, literally. I could feel you as soon as she said she wanted magic. Because that's when you really went off on her and you were like, no, you don't get that.
I was
That's
really
not
like
for you.
Archibald. Because that's like what she's had to Archibald too.
Yeah.
But like, no, that really made me angry because, and I think the thing is she's known that Madam wants power. Like she wants to be
Yeah.
powerful and she enjoys that she's got that power. But I think Talia always thought that she wanted to be powerful to protect everyone around
Yes.
her.
Yes.
Because that's why
That's what
Talia
I
wants
thought.
power. That's why we're looking for power.
Yeah.
That's why we're trying to get stronger
Yeah.
is to protect everyone
We want
around
people
us.
to be safe.
And actually, I don't think that that's what she's doing. And whether I've not separated enough, but like Talia doesn't think that that's what she's doing because there was a friend who was a close acquaintance that she
Dead.
doesn't care.
Yeah.
They're dead, you know? And that was really the moment for Talia where it was like, oh no, you're actually just like everybody else.
Can I put a different perspective onto it?
Always.
I think one of the reasons why she was very willing and very happy to put the blame of the death of a close acquaintance on Talia was just so it's like, well, it's not me.
It's for her coping, yeah,
It's
for sure.
fully for her coping.
Which is selfish.
Very much selfish. And
Which is so
I
selfish
think
on this random teenage girl.
oh,
like,
100%
yeah.
unfair. Like not
Yeah.
the right thing to do. I think she wants power part for the want of power,
Yeah.
but I think it's part for the want of power for the ones closest.
I agree.
It's a half and half
It's-
situation.
It's
I think
complicated, I think.
it's very much
yeah.
complicated. I don't think. I mean, she's shown she doesn't deserve the power.
Mm-hmm.
She's very much deserved. She's not worthy of the power.
And I do not care for your secular logic.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think she does care for the people closest to her. However, not to the point where she's
I
willing
think
to
the
make
power is more important to her. though.
exactly. She's willing to
Yeah.
make risks that didn't
Yes.
need to be made.
Yeah.
which
I agree.
Which is why I think she isn't deserving of that power.
Yeah.
And why, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm also just like, the reason that we're trying to get stronger with magic is to fight magical beings.
Yes,
Is
yes,
to fight
yes.
people from that world. She wants magic to use in the mundane world.
Yeah.
She wants magic to be able to defeat other humans
Yeah.
who don't have any magic.
But then I do think maybe, like I do agree that that's wrong, but then I also do think there's an element there, just like from an outside character analysis perspective, of we grew up in very privileged, safe lives.
that is true.
I was also gonna
I
say
think
that
if
too.
I grew up potentially in the slums of France
That is
and
true.
Paris and had to fight for my life and like do whatever she's had to do to like build this safe house and business and income for herself, you know, just based on everything she's sort of implied about herself to Rosalind, I just think that we might have a different perspective on
That's
it.
what-
And we might
okay.
be more desperate.
That is an
That's-
excellent point.
I'll tell you right now, I think I had the same
Mm-hmm.
thought because I wrote down lack of class consciousness,
Yeah.
but I couldn't remember why I wrote that
I
down.
think it's that.
You saying that is like 100%.
Yeah.
That's why I wrote that down.
Yeah.
Like before these girls ran away, they never had to deal with I might be killed every day.
Yeah, and that follows
you
up on
know?
the story of like
So
these guys have had a whole life and a whole story. You're just here for this part.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. She's such an interesting character. Like she's
One of the best written characters
Yeah.
in this
yeah,
campaign. I think.
she's. But
Before,
it kind of
close.
is. I don't know,
Yeah.
but like she's so complicated, and I actually, from a narrative perspective, even though it sucks and it's really hard and it really hurts that these girls have kind of lost / felt betrayed by another figure who was like supposed to look after them. I actually think narratively it's really interesting and it makes
Yeah.
her really more
I
interesting.
agree. And it's not surprising.
No.
Because, she's always been interested in where our magic comes from.
Yeah.
Our magic. Your magic. I just turn into a demon.
That's
That's
magical.
not really
Hey,
human, though.
I'm gonna tell you right now, that's pretty magical.
That is pretty magic.
It's really interesting that, Talia doesn't view herself as, a magic person.
Yeah, because she's like, it's not something I do, it's something I am.
Yeah. Except for the fact that she can literally
Do
do
a
a
blood
blood
curse.
curse. And never
Yeah.
does.
Yeah. I
but-
had a point I was about to make and I forgot. I really forgot. But yeah, I felt very, even at the funeral, I don't know about you, but, even before she made that speech, I felt quite disconnected from Madam this episode. And I didn't mean, I think that,
Every time I hear that
It's
word,
the
I'm
only-
like, bro.
but, I don't know if it's just because, Rosalind actually hasn't seen anyone from the Velvet Masquerade until now since before the Moon Ball. Like,
wow.
Yeah. And it was the fact that because it was Thomas's funeral, there really couldn't be any sort of reunion or catch up there. I didn't know if it was just that at the time, and then she went on to do all this other stuff. But I felt way more detached from her and everybody there than I had done. And yeah, it probably is because Rosalind's been through a fuck ton of trauma since she saw them all last. But yeah, I didn't really feel part of the group there anymore, or I didn't really feel close to Madam in this episode, considering how close Rosalind normally feels to her, and yeah.
So I have a question, unless any of you have any more points they want to say about the whole Madam B situation.
I have so much to say, but I think it's just the same thing.
Same.
Yes. Do you think, I'm not going to ask you this because you might, because you don't know the situation.
Yeah.
Do you think you two are going to return to
I'm so interested in this.
the Velvet
Do
Masquerade?
you know what I loved before I answer that? Was the moment of where do you want to stay? Well, I don't want to be here. Okay, let's go.
Meaning that,
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
for such
Yeah,
a
yeah.
small
No,
moment,
it's-
I
it
was
was-
really these because again, it was really these girls when they're good are so
Yeah.
good with each
No,
other.
I loved that. That was one of my favourite bits to watch.
I said, oh, I want to stay here tonight.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay. And then, but at that moment, I was like,
I was like,
But-
I don't want to be
Yeah.
here.
Yeah,
I
okay.
want to leave.
Yeah.
we're on the same page then.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
And
I'm so wondering, is that a person we see again in this campaign? I think it is
will.
because plot's too entangled, but I don't think these
I
girls
just-
would go back on their own.
I just don't think we can give up the
The Velvet Masquerade.
Velvet Masquerade.
Yeah.
No.
I think
we've got too many,
and Richard.
But it is
Richard,
different now.
yeah.
This
But it is
the thing.
different. I don't think it's going to feel like a safe home anymore.
No.
Which it did for a
And-
while. I don't know about you, it really felt like, oh, that's
Home.
another home that's gone now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Lyndon described it like that, even just from the amount of trauma and pain around it
Yeah.
on the morning. He was like, this doesn't feel the same.
Yeah.
This feels like somewhere you've never been.
Yeah.
That was such a good line. I was really
And, because again, that was another, to slightly lead into the next bit, because look, to answer your question, I do think they will go back.
I just think there's no way they don't.
Yeah.
For plot, even.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I think because we're not going to be separated for the whole thing, and I think once Rosalind's back, we're going to go back, and there will be another discussion. I think that was the first of another conversation that I think will come back.
Yeah.
But unless you have anything to add to whether or not we're going to go back.
I think we will.
Yeah.
Just not for the time being.
Yeah.
Yeah, not for a while at
Yeah.
least.
But that
I think once things have maybe settled a bit, we'll think about it.
Yeah.
I think you'll need a reason, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the thing. I don't think they're just going to go. I think
No,
they're
no,
going
You
to
need
go for it.
100%.
Richard for something.
Yes.
It's,
That's what I think.
But that because Talia didn't want to stay there anymore, but that was another thing that I'll go more into when we get to it. But that was another thing where it's
I know what you mean. I know. What
I'll
you
get
mean.
to it later.
Yeah.
You guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I get
But
it.
we'll do it in order.
Yeah.
Had the note, third poor person Talia attacked for no reason. The first one was the warehouse guy, who's the warehouse you broke in, and then you twisted his arm because you broke into his warehouse and he was telling you to
And then
stop.
you threw him on the floor and spat on
Yeah,
him.
you fell on the
Then you
floor,
punched
and
him all.
then you, second of all, and then the second one you killed that guy, and the third one was the guy in
Maybe
the
that was the one that I forgot.
one that you killed. I'm not saying that Talia's a bad person.
No, because when you
Maijai
knocked on the door and like the Viscount's version of Seth answered, you were laughing. You were like, "Oh yeah, I killed the last one."
Yeah. And then so that was that's the little point. A
Yeah.
third poor person that was injured for no reason.
I hardly think that the
right.
Viscount servant. Well,
I really wrote down the note. I just wrote Talia is scary.
yes,
Yeah.
I take it back.
Right, so the are you
No,
talking-
because
are you
these
talking
two
about,
are
like,
against
like
us and
Richard's
we're
men?
together on this.
Yeah,
Like,
the
yeah.
Richard man.
Right, I don't think that was Talia attacking him because he's poor. I think that was
No.
Talia attacking him because he's a man.
Yeah.
Okay.
And,
Yeah,
and
no,
he was
100%.
being a
Okay,
dick.
100%,
Yeah.
100%. But
I
it was
just
like,
don't
it
think
didn't
he
need
was
to
being
happen.
a dick.
Yeah, it just didn't have to happen. It was just.
Okay.
I
Talia's
think you
angry.
two were in a bad mood because you've just been
Yeah,
and
betrayed
just
by
took it-
Madam.
and just
I
took it
think
out
that
when
me
the person
twisting
was
his
there.
arm is better than Agatha shooting him, which like was close to happening.
What?
And,
Agatha was.
and Talia fucking knew it.
Why and how was that close to happening?
Because I said
She was ready to pull a gun.
we can protect ourselves. We killed as many men.
Yeah,
last night as
that
you
doesn't
did.
mean I'm gonna shoot you, innocent man.
But
trying
the
to help me.
implication, why would I bring up that we killed people? If
No,
that's-
so these
that's
men
the
were in front of
implication.
us being like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And Talia, who's normally the one who's like, I'm gonna kill people, felt Agatha next to her be like, I'm about to pull a gun on this bitch. And I was like, okay, if I intimidate them and they let us go, then like Agatha's not gonna kill
Okay,
someone.
my point is, all he was saying was let me walk you to a carriage. Let me be
Yeah, that's
outside with
literally
you
it. That's
until you
literally
get in a carriage because I've
It
been
was an
waiting for you.
overreaction, I
No,
understand.
No, yeah, I agree.
Sorry. Okay, am I the only person
No,
in
I'm
this
on-
campaign whose immediate response to somebody being in front of me isn't I can kill you? Like,
Yes.
I'm scared. I don't like two of these girls sometimes. That's horrible. That's horrifying.
We are
This
very
poor
problematic.
man. And then, like, actually, the twisting his arm, I was so scared because I was like, oh, Talia's now crossed the line into, for no reason other than that I want to exert authority over you, I will just cause you pain.
No, but
I'm
she
gonna hurt
wasn't.
you because I can to show you I can.
Yeah.
But she wasn't going to until it was like, see, negotiation.
Yeah,
Not
that's
how
not how
I
he said
said
it.
it!
That's not how he said it.
Yes, it was.
You two were.
You
Okay.
who were already angry.
Lyndon went negotiation.
Look,
He went,
Lyndon went negotiation.
Yeah, which is patronising.
no, he was trying to be like, look, we're
You see,
friends
we're
now.
friends, we're
I'm
working
on your
together.
side. I'm literally your friend.
No, I didn't see it like that.
Because you guys were blinded by
You
rage.
are bad people.
I was gonna.
How am
Not,
I on the villain team and I'm the best person in this campaign?
I was literally gonna breeze over that whole thing. And then look what's happened. Look at what's happened.
This is gonna be the best TikTok I've ever made.
I didn't see, hey, we're all friends. I said, see, negotiation.
That's what I
Because
mean.
you're blinded by
Yeah,
rage.
because also you two just like hold each other to the hold everybody else to the standards you both have, which is
Yeah.
everything is aggressive.
Yeah, because you two would do it that way. You two would go
Yeah.
negotiation.
Literally!
We're problematic.
Yeah.
No, do you know what I'm really reminded of? Is that episode where you two were in the warehouse and you were like, oh yeah, I have a gun.
Like, no, for real, because we broke into a man's garage.
You broke into his
We
house.
were at fault.
No, literally, you broke into his house and then instead of just like explaining the situation or coming up with anything, you attacked him, twisted his arm back, twisted it even
He
more.
attacked me first.
He locked Talia in the garage.
Because you broke in.
You broke in and
You broke in.
he wasn't even gonna hurt you, he was just gonna call the police and be like, hey, that's the... Also, he's poor, he's poor, and that's his livelihood.
They don't understand livelihood because they grew up rich.
So did Rosalind! I'm just like...
But Rosalind has empathy.
I've lost my mind!
We got so far into this. We got so far into this.
I've lost my mind!
So Rosalind had a lovely conversation with the Viscount.
I love that after I've just made this whole stance about Rosalind's the only good person, Rosalind actually then went mental.
No, but this was
Yeah, but against a dick.
against the guy
Against
who
the
removed.
man who's like traumatized.
Against the man who cut your hand off. And you were just like a bit sassy.
Yeah.
Man sliced off your hand and you're like, I just made the point that she's a good person. I was like the tiniest bit sassy.
You were under
Welcome
aggressive.
to Rosalind's brain.
You were very much under aggressive, and you two were very much over aggressive.
Yeah.
It really needs to even out at some point. Right, okay.
This is about like you being separate from us. Not only are like you in danger and like we don't have any magic.
You two
like
are gonna get worse.
we're
You're the moral
unhinged.
code anymore.
Yeah.
Rosalind was your moral compass.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. Can I make my point about why Rosalind went mental?
Yes.
And why
Sorry.
why her going mental isn't really going mental? Rosalind at the funeral is the most anger I've ever felt as Rosalind.
I can
like
see it.
I got so angry, and when I was like sobbing and shaking and I couldn't stop sobbing, it was anger. Like it was anger that Rosalind's never felt as anger before. Because Rosalind is a very angry person, but she feels anger as other emotions. You know, she just makes it be something different because she can't cope with it and she doesn't know what to do with it. But I was at this funeral and I was just like, what I wrote down in my notes was the best man I've ever met dead, and that's not fair. Like, it's not fair that they're all still alive and the only good man ever has been taken by more evil men. And Rosalind at the minute, I'm going to post this meme when this episode goes out, because there's like a classical painting of like a lamb being eaten by like 10 sheep.
Yeah.
And that's the only way I can describe.
Being eaten by 10, is it by sheep?
No, by 10 wolves. I mean.
Right.
I'm pretty sure I've seen that in real life. I'm fairly certain.
You've seen a Lamborghini like
I
that?
know the painting.
Jesus Christ! I was going to say that's insane,
So
Lore.
casually, but like, oh, I've seen that happen.
I'm the one who painted it, by the way.
Monet!
Chaos!
Anyway, that painting is the only way I can accurately describe how it feels
Yeah.
to be Rosalind at the minute. It's just that there's Lilith, and there's the Viscount, and there's Frederick, and there's Georgiana, and there's the Brotherhood, and there's everything, and everybody is like just trying to like get at me and like get a piece of me, and I don't know what to do, and I can't do anything, and I've got this fucking collar around my neck that I can't take off, and like I've given myself to them because it was all I could do, but I'm starting to feel like that was for nothing because I'm starting to realise my dad's never gonna love me whatever I do, and I've done all of this for him. But also, now people are telling me I could be really powerful, and I am just going mental. And ultimately, Rosalind's just starting to realise that it's not fair. And, like, she's getting really angry, and she's getting really... And Thomas's death really started bringing that up for her, because, like... because it wasn't about her, so she could start to process it as anger. It's then making her angry about everything else. And it was something about the way Lyndon then described, like, the fact that it was just me and the Viscount sat either end of this. Wow.
Whoa.
That's interesting, because that's my, like, Roses, Georgiana, Act 1 cup. But, like, it was the way Lyndon described being sat at either end of this, like, big dining table with this, like, fancy meal that I don't want to eat. Like, and him just making small talk with me. It was him just being like, good day, I was doing this business meeting. And, like... I've just been at the funeral of the only good man I've ever known. Like, the only man I've ever seen be wholly good. And, like, I'm in your house.
Gilby.
Okay, but Gilby still lied about
I
everything.
know.
Like, and it's just different. Like, Thomas is Rosalind knows Thomas as, like, a peer. You know,
Yeah.
Gilbert was an adult.
No, I know.
Like-
it was a joke.
But, anyway, it was just so, like, she's just had enough. Like, Rosalind is really this image of this lamb, and she's just about to snap because, like, there's nothing else she can do. And she was at this point with him where she was like, why am I bothering to, like, try and, like, play nice with you? Because, like, there's no point, and, like, you're not going to kill me anyway because you need me for something worse.
Do you know what part of me is really like?
What?
If you do sneak out and just come to the Brotherhood,
What can she do?
what are they going to do?
Yeah.
Because, like, there are barriers to keep them out of there.
Yeah. We'll see, I guess, maybe.
Because I'm really just like, at this point, if she just, like, left.
Yeah. Maybe we'll find out.
Because the point we were making earlier about the Morning Star, that obviously he can get in because he's been moving the cards about in the Brotherhood.
But he can't be, like, in.
How are the cards being moved then?
Differently.
In
But
my
how?
head, he's like a ghost or a spirit. He like.
But
whereas
in my
everywhere
head,
else
it's
is-
me.
Yeah, it's kind
Yeah,
of.
but how has
Yeah, but
he
sometimes
like
it's-
infiltrated you to do that if he can't even get past the
But then
barriers?
maybe the wards on the Brotherhood are just breaking down.
True.
I don't know.
But also, like, that was...
Or maybe he's more powerful. Maybe the wards are for like corporeal, like earthly demons that have come and have
guess.
this shape, and
I
he's
mean,
still in this
fucking
weird
devil,
form.
yeah.
Because he's if it is like the devil
Yeah.
From the Bible.
from the Bible, the
But
devil.
also,
from-
like...
As
Because...
opposed to what other devil?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay. fair.
Anyway,
yeah.
but anyway, my point is, I know, like, the reason Rosalind was still under aggressive, even though she was so overwhelmed. One, it was a big step.
I think it was an excellent
because
level.
that was like the first time Rosalind has ever not cared about consequences. Because Rosalind's always been really scared, but I think, again, the thing she realised that day, while she was having her thought process of whether or not to tell Lilith, was, what are you going to do? Like, you're just, like, the only person that can get hurt here is me, and, like, you're not going to kill me, because you need me, for some reason. And, like...
That's a scary thought. I don't like that.
But it sounds like the spine came around.
I don't like that. But, like...
Sorry for saying it then.
And the thing is, like, she'd just had enough of this man's face, and, like...
And you did amazingly.
But at the
no
same time...
line that you've ever said in your entire life has ever made me happier than that line
Which
just
one?
then. She's
had
just
enough of
like-
his face.
She's just had enough of his face.
But, like... But the reason I think that it
You
didn't
reckon?
come out as much as maybe, like, you were hoping it would, was because... Yes, there is a lot of anger at the Viscount, but that's never been... Like, the source of Rosalind's anger is her father, and she's not ready to deal with that yet. And when I was thinking about what Rosalind might do with these feelings after the funeral, because at the funeral she was so overwhelmed by them, that, like, I don't think she was ever going to fully feel and experience that anger until she was alone in her room. Like, I thought that then she might have some sort of breakdown, and she still might, because we actually haven't seen the rest of Rosalind's evening. So I don't really want to say in case stuff happens.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't think Rosalind is going to fully process that until she's alone, because that's when she can really think about things. Whereas at that table, all she had in front of her was the Viscount. And again, even more, I think it was just like, why are you still not telling me things? That's why she was still just like, okay, is that why my hand was cut off? What's this story about my hand then? What's her plan? Like, what are you? Like, what is your relationship? Because she was just so, like, overwhelmed and frustrated and, like, sick of being used and everyone being awful. And it was just like, can you just fucking tell me things at this point? Like,
I think, I mean, the level of anger was, like, I think it was perfect at that very, like, it was literally, you were any more angry, it would have been a waste, because
nothing was going to come of it.
And then I think if you were less angry, I think Rosalind would have pushed less.
Yeah.
So I think you're at that right perfect level of, like, being able to get what you need and show that, like, you're frustrated with... even if you're not frustrated with him, the way it was, he definitely would have felt like...
Because Rosalind's never been anything, like, even when she's been negotiating with him, she's gone in on a level of, like, you're much more powerful than me, so I need to try and, like, placate you this whole time. And I just had another thought about it, and it's, like, it's slightly gone, but I don't know, give me a minute, I might, because it was, like, a really good thought, and I've forgotten it.
Yeah, well, I was just happy that we found out about the accident.
No, but this relates to what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Of, like, one of my favourite bits of that was... I'll continue that story in public. Because I was like, that's obviously always what's implied.
Yeah.
But it was the, like, emphasis of, we'll pretend that when we're around other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like,
we know what happened.
We know what happened.
Especially after it had been revealed that he actually didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
That was his choice, as Lilith actually had nothing to do with that. I'm sure she was very, like, get me that ring. But, like, he could have gone about that in so many other ways.
It was when she was like, why didn't you ask me?
Yeah. And I think that's the other thing. Like, she's just sick of being treated like she's not a person. Yeah. And, like, she always has been, and it's been building, but it's gotten so much worse lately, even. Because she sort of went on this whole journey to realise, oh, I'm a person. I deserve to be treated like a person. And then... everybody treated her even less like a person.
Yeah.
But the thing I realised, I don't know if I'll be able to articulate it because it kind of was there and then it went, was like, what is it? I've really got something to say here and I don't know how or, like, what to say. It's something about how even when she was angry at the Viscount, like, the tone, the way that anger came out was, like, what was kind of satisfying to me was that it was still in this, like, oh, well, it kind of, like, why Lyndon was like, are you being passive-aggressive, was because the way she was angry at the Viscount was just by talking to him the way she always has. Like, she was actually not being different. Like, that's actually always the angle she's taken with him. It just doesn't work anymore because he knows it's bullshit, and she knows it's bullshit. And I think that was her biggest thing, was like, why are we still bullshitting each other? That, like, this is what we think of each other when we don't. Like, I'm tired of this. Like, why am I just going to sit? And that was the other thing, was like, when she was making those comments about like, oh yes, you know, I'm very impressed by all of your like masculine things, was like, I think her point was like, I've always been lying when I've been like that to you. Why do you now care?
Yeah.
Let me carry it on. Like, I'm not being passive. This is how I've always been.
Yeah.
It's always been this. It's always been, yes, you're so handsome. Yes, that's all I care about. Yes, I'm very beautiful. Yes, you're very masculine. Like, why should I stop that? That's not passive. That's the same. That's the same thing. And it was his being like, by it, that I think, like, that's why it was coming out like that. Like, that's her way of just being like, you know, none of this has ever been real, so why are we still sat here bullshitting each other when I'm now involved in this much bigger plan? I really am intrigued on whether or not it's true that, like, he doesn't know what the pearls are. Because I genuinely think it's true. Like, I know I didn't roll insight. I, as Taya and Rosalind, they believe. And I don't know whether it's just because I want to believe that he has as little power as possible with Lilith. But, like, I really do think that, like, she doesn't tell him stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, my theory is that he doesn't know exactly what it does, but it's very much because it was given as a gift and given to give to you, but it's very much a case of like, this is just to keep her in check or something.
Yeah.
I feel like he knows
He
something,
knows what,
Yeah.
but like he doesn't
something
know.
vague.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like he doesn't know what
This
it does.
is just in case.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
or something like
Like-
that. But
Like it's just
yeah, but I think the other biggest thing Rosalind got from that conversation, and I know that you're gonna have beef with this, is that Rosalind is now really less scared of the Viscount than she was, obviously. But she's really like, oh, you're not that big and scary like I thought you were. You're not that clever. All of your plans come from this woman, and when she's not telling you exactly what to do, you make stupid choices like cutting off my hand.
Yeah.
And like, oh, you're actually just like I was. Like, you just do what you're told. Like, you know? And actually, like, she's still aware that he's way more powerful than her magically and, like, could kill her immediately. Like, she's not stupid. Like, she does know that.
He can kill you immediately.
But she's just... I mean, I think he could probably one-shot me. I think I have 33 hit points.
Oh, that's an excellent point.
You know? But... I just think that she is way less scared of, like, she just sees him now as, like, a pawn, and it's taken away his power over her. It's because she's a pawn as well, but it's just like, why are we bullshitting each other then?
Yeah.
Because you don't actually even know her full plan. Like, you're actually not important. We're actually the same level of importance here. You're just further along and have more training, you know?
I'd probably put him more as a bishop instead of a pawn. Like, he knows some parts of it. He definitely knows
Yeah.
more than you, but he
No,
doesn't
a
know.
bishop's too important.
I actually don't know
Come on.
anything about chess.
Maybe a knight.
I guess
They're
not.
sort of
Yeah,
the ones that nobody cares about.
because they
Yeah.
only take L's. Fuck, why can't
I know
that
nothing
is
about
that.
chess,
Yeah,
not even
same.
going to pretend to.
Okay, well.
But, like...
Maybe that's just how I
Yeah.
play though.
But,
what, just by. Okay, yeah, fair enough.
but anyway, like, I know it's probably biased, and probably because
Yeah.
she wants to a little bit, but she really sees him as so much less scary and so much more pathetic than she used to.
And the reason why I'm smiling is because I made an oopsie whoopsie when Lyndon was doing some session preparations. I'm not going to say any more than that, but yeah.
Rio's seen something.
Rio's seen some things about the Viscount.
I've seen some things that I shouldn't have seen, and now,
We're all scared.
oopsies.
We-
What?
I'm not scared of
Why are you not scared of anything?
Well,
Because
there's
the reason why is because Talia hasn't been humbled yet. And I stand by that. It's still one of my main notes. Talia hasn't been humbled yet, and that's dangerous.
Biggest take about Demons and Daughters is that somebody needs to beat Talia in a
It's-
fight at some point.
It's because I feel like, and this is just me, okay, I'm just going to take a step back before we go into the final episode. I think for Talia to reach their maximum character development, they need to get the shit kicked out of them.
I agree, kind of. I'll do it.
You can't.
Agatha, next time they have beef.
So
So,
it's just like.
Next
So-
Agatha will just shoot you in the leg or something.
Yeah.
okay.
What?
Because if I go like that and if someone put a gun like that, I'd be like, ah!
Oh,
You know?
true.
Yeah.
If you get the right
Also, it's
angle
because
at
Agatha's shorter
armpit,
than Talia, so she
So-
gets me like,
the armpit, you get it in the heart if
So-
you get the right angle.
wow, that's scary.
Episode 49?
I believe
I believe
so.
49. And
Yes,
unfortunately, I mean, you
49.
can contribute on
Oh,
your
wait,
own thoughts,
wait,
but we're not
but
going to talk
the
about.
very end of episode 48.
And that's why I'm going to basically say 49.
Okay, oh, fair enough, I'll go fuck myself.
So there was cigar
I don't
smoke,
think that's
there was
what
a
we-
smell.
Yeah, It took me a while to like realise.
You were
it
like
takes
so long.
Because they both went, and then you were just like, what?
But also, that's just a me thing. Like,
Why
I
are you
just,
awake?
I just don't pay attention, and then people laugh or like react, and I'm like, what?
Also, you rolled a low perception anyway, so I guess.
That's
say
true.
that,
Like,
yeah.
Agatha
I
actually
rolled a
didn't.
natural 20.
Yeah. But Dad's back.
That's fine.
Dad's awake.
I don't know where Dad keeps his key.
My first note for that episode is insane response from Talia to Harold.
Yeah.
Talia ran up, nabbed this man's cigar.
Why
and
do you
was
acting
"Lol."
like you two are the best of friends?
Like, genuinely.
Wait, no, this is the Talia who didn't care that Harold woke up and like said, "You need more power."
Yeah.
The same
The same
Talia.
one he didn't get
Yeah,
shit about. Yeah.
But do you know why she went up and interrupted?
Because you don't give a shit about him.
Because Jonathan made a point of you shouldn't be smoking a cigar, and she was like, I'm going to go smoke that cigar.
Oh, okay.
And
fair
act
enough.
really casual. Because
Missing the whole Jonathan point as well, because Jonathan's point was you shouldn't smoke that cigar because of how ill you are, not in general.
Yeah,
it was,
yeah.
but it was like, oh, you can't smoke cigars. Well, I'm not fucking doing it then.
I just saw Jonathan and I was like, die.
Yeah.
We'll get into that.
Die.
Like,
But yeah,
man's awake.
man's awake.
What? Chris, sorry. No,
Man's awake. What a weird day.
I just keep... You're right then.
Why are you
Why
awake?
are you awake?
POV, you are Harold Pentecost. You're up then. Why are you awake?
Yeah, but also like that's exactly the
Yeah.
kind of thing that Harold wants,
Yeah.
and you can tell from his response.
Yeah.
He was just like,
But, like,
yeah.
Okay, from
me,
Talia,
yeah.
okay, but his own daughter being.
Why are you
Why are you
awake?
awake?
If I woke up from a court coma and someone went, why are you awake? I think I'd go, sorry.
But he thought
No,
he
no,
was
Harold
having
had a
a
good
day.
response.
He was just like, I was done sleeping.
Yeah, Harold had a good response, being like, "Well, thank you, Father. Thanks for saving my life."
That was good.
I'm like,
That was
okay, he's chill. And I did write that. I wrote,
Harold is the most chill.
I wrote, "Father is back. He seems chill."
Yeah, so first thing.
But like what I think is maybe the most beautiful, intense, emotional point of the whole show conversation we've ever had.
Yeah.
That's a really funny note to have made about it.
Pretty chill.
Do you know what the most beautiful moment of that was? Was him being like, but you always seemed so happy when I came back, and you being like,
Because
you
you
were
were
there.
there.
I want to get into that later. There is a level of
Okay,
settings.
you
Sorry.
read us because we're going to go to
Because it's just notes. First note I want to put down is Talia was very much, it felt like, was looking for something to criticise in Harold in the conversation. I don't know how much it came across, but there was a lot of points where they were saying something. Harold had a fair rebuttal, and then Talia went, no.
yeah, Talia's.
Yeah.
I think the thing that sort of surprised me more with that in the way that she responded to him was I didn't think that Talia cared about Harold in terms of his views, and like I actually didn't think that she was angry at Harold because she's so angry at Frederick,
Yeah.
and like she's not even begun to think about Gilbert because she's just worried about him, and she's so angry at Jonathan that I never really thought that she like
Have feelings.
I thought she would just be like, okay, and then like she was, but like in a different way, and like she knew that it wasn't her place to be angry because this is Agatha's dad, and like this is between them, and it's actually not her place, and it's nothing to do with her, and she kept like catching herself being like, this isn't, this shouldn't be me, and like you're not actually like he's actually not the person that she's angry at.
Yeah, but he was there.
But he's the closest person to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it's good for Talia as a character, like development wise, that she was aware of that. Because then after you had your whole tirade about like, we did this, and this, like you were then like, but sorry, this is your thing. You were like, I'm done. You like said your bit and then you were like, this is yours though, sorry, I did that.
Yeah.
And that's big for Talia, I think.
Well, yeah. I think it was one of those situations where I was expecting like every other adult person to have a bad reasoning. Harold was the first person in conversations where every point they made, I was like, I agree with you. I think you're right, actually.
But then that's it too, like her whole, like everything that she's experienced is like an adult saying something and then she's like, no, actually, fuck you, that doesn't make any sense. And I think she's just like in the habit of it. Like she doesn't really know how else to respond other than being like, no.
But yeah, that's point one. Point number two, that thing that we found out, because I do want to get to your thing, but these are things that we found out
Because
before.
he told us like what happened.
Yeah.
What happened? Gilbert was banished.
Gilbert is in another realm, confirmed, which we kind of
We
knew,
already
but
knew.
like,
Yeah, but like it's confirmed.
Frederick might be dead.
Frederick
Yeah.
might be dead.
He's not going to be, but he might be.
Yeah,
If
but
he is.
Frederick's mind is fried.
Yeah,
Like that's the thing we found
that's a
out.
thing confirmed.
Like, and like to the point that like
Scattered.
yeah, but Harold,
Harold's broken!
yeah, Gilbert's lost.
Oh,
I
we
told
got
you
it!
Gilbert
We
was gonna
got
be
it!
lost.
We got it, okay.
Like,
We did get it right.
yeah, that is what we thought.
Yeah, nice.
But
Don't
yeah, Frederick so Gilbert was lost like immediately, like through the portal, and then Frederick was falling behind because he got like mind fried to the point that Harold had to leave him. And the thing I've written down, which I think is like the point of this whole show, is that Harold said, "I had to leave him. He would have understood. He would have done the same if the roles had been reversed." And I
Charlie
wrote,
was like, I wouldn't do
no,
that.
I wrote, "These men just leave each other behind and we would never."
Yeah.
And that's the point. I think the point of this whole show is that the Brotherhood was doomed because these men and their pride and the way they run things is always going to be doomed.
Yeah.
And the way these girls who love each other run things is actually the good way.
Yeah.
I wrote that down and I was like, that's the point of the show.
Yeah, because that was part of it as well, because that happened quite early on, and Talia was really like, I would never do that. Like, we're fundamentally different people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, I have nothing else to. Gilbert to blame. I wrote that down.
Oh, fucking don't even get me started.
Okay, so next point.
No, because this is what I mean. Like, Harold made some really good points, but also some of the fucking shit that he said.
Yeah. It's one of those
Yeah.
things where it's like he made good points, and I was just one of the things where like, yeah, but like maybe you're telling the wrong people at this moment, but they get angry if you didn't tell them now anyway, because everything he's saying is things from his experience.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
he
I didn't really
takes-
ask, though.
Yeah, but it'd be one of those things where later on Talia would be like, well, why didn't you say so earlier?
Yeah. True.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
there we go. I'm going to hold you accountable.
I love him in real.
But it's one of those cases where I think it's a very interesting point, because he said that, and then he said a bit more, and then he later on in the conversation, like, oh, maybe that's what it's interesting to have an adult man character be willing to be introspective.
Yeah. But this is what I have a lot of feelings on about what happens
Yeah,
after
because
with
I think
Agatha.
is
but
there
we'll
any
get
other
to
points?
that.
Yeah, is there any other points that you want to talk about before Talia left? Because
I
I think it
don't
was just-
remember when Harold said it, but the comment about Rosalind really
That was
made me
the two
upset.
of them.
Yes, that was
Okay,
the
that's
two
fine.
of
I'll
them.
get to that later then.
You say now because that's the two.
Yeah, I guess because I mean, my thing about that comment about like that perfect face that she's so proud of, she would have killed me. I'm really like, I just find it really interesting hearing something like that, which is so like from the past about Bloodlow, on the night that Rosalind had the balls to be like, yes, because all I care about is being.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Like that was actually like, as much as I really didn't like hearing a comment like that again,
That was
it
so
was kind
good.
of satisfying to me because
Yeah.
I was like, actually, I'm dealing with that now.
Yeah,
you
no,
know.
it was so good.
And I actually like, as much as I didn't like it in that moment, I actually retrospectively think that's a really
Yeah,
cool
it's a really
narrative
good-
thing
Yeah.
that happened.
Because that's how Harold knew.
That's how Harold sees
Yeah.
Rosalind, because that's how all everyone like always
Yeah,
saw Rosalind.
That's how it
but
was. Yeah.
yeah, that's just satisfying for me.
Yeah. No.
But yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I think.
I had a point and I don't remember. I'm really intrigued on what it is that Gilbert has done. And like Harold was so not explaining, like I don't know if it was just me. Everything is still so unclear. And like Harold obviously doesn't know, but like
So what I think he was saying was that Gilbert changed something so that your blood could be used so that you could do the trials and become a member of the Brotherhood.
what
Because
I
your blood
think-
is different from
Yes.
your
Yeah.
because you have demon blood.
yes, what I think is that I wouldn't have been able to get through the ward because I'm demonic.
That makes sense.
Which is why he had to take my blood
Yeah.
and not his blood.
Yeah.
Because it
Because
has
it's
to
thing.
be
You're your own
me
thing, yeah.
to let me through the
That's
ward.
why
Yeah.
I was
Which is why
confused
you
because-
guys could still get through
Yeah.
anyway.
Because we just have the family blood and we're
I
just humans.
thought that
Yeah.
it was because we're women. That's what I thought the thing was, because when we
Yeah.
have people
Same
that's
for
that's
a
what I
sec,
thought.
same
That's
until
why I
he explained
questioned it. But then obviously
Yeah.
Okay, I put it together
Yeah.
as I said it out loud,
Nice.
and now I'm not
Yeah.
confused anymore.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we talk about the big thing?
Mm-hmm.
A really important conversation was had. I think it was I mean,
this show has always been building towards 3 reunions that are always going to be the biggest moments of the whole show, and we just had one. We just had one of them.
yeah.
Mm.
How do you feel?
Currently, I feel very indifferent.
Interesting.
That's not to say that later on it's
Yeah.
gonna be
No,
gonna
100%.
change.
I mean, I wrote down, like, Harold very much during that conversation, there were points where he started to take accountability, which
Yes.
is more than we can say for literally
Any
anyone
other
else.
adult.
Yeah.
Literally anyone else.
Yeah, but like, I don't know, it was weird because I was like, oh, I don't know.
It's felt like, from an outside
Yeah.
perspective, it felt like that isn't what Agatha wanted. Agatha didn't want him to take risk. It's very much a case of, like, I'm angry at you and I want to be angry at
Yeah.
you. And Harold was very much a case of, yeah,
Oh,
you're
Yeah,
allowed.
right.
You're
yeah.
absolutely allowed to feel that. I'm sorry. And it was
Yeah.
very much a case of,
Well, what do I do with this anger?
well, no.
Yeah, I
I think she
I
just didn't know how
completely
to
agree.
respond.
Because no, I agree because like he was saying, oh no, I get that, and I was like,
Oh.
okay, all right, I'm also angry about this.
Yeah.
Oh, I get that. Oh, I'm also about this. Oh, no, it was
And then
really
he said
weird.
he was proud of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
And
nice.
that, like, he would do all of it again to keep you and Albert safe,
Yeah.
which is really sweet.
It's just it's really difficult because obviously Harold and Martha, husband and wife, and it seems from what has been said before that they like actually liked each other.
Before she went.
Yeah, they weren't just like their marriage wasn't simply a business arrangement. It seemed that they actually had feelings for each other. Then Albert, obviously, Martha is his mum, and like obviously
Correct.
That's how families
Yeah.
are.
Yes.
and like he had a really nice childhood.
Yeah, because he knew her before.
And then I came along and maybe like in my first few years she might have been a really good mother, but I don't remember that.
Yeah.
All I remember are the times she's a shit mother.
Yeah.
And that's why I had a lot of hatred towards Harold, was because he left me.
Yeah.
He didn't take me away from that situation. He just
And he knew everything.
he knew everything. He
But
could
clearly
have
didn't.
stopped that.
That's what's kind of sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't
Yeah.
know everything.
He didn't
to
know
be-
how bad the
Yeah.
mother
Yeah.
she
But
was,
he-
I
but-
think.
no,
But he should have.
He
Yeah,
should have.
he knows he
But
should
he
have,
knew
you know?
that like God isn't
Yeah.
real, and that Martha is going pretty much insane about God,
Yeah.
putting that onto me,
Yeah.
and like he could just tell her. I know it's not as easy as
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
Because
you know.
imagine,
Like-
yeah, I mean,
And then I get taken away to Lyme Regis, and I don't have my dad anymore.
Mhm.
yeah.
I don't see him as often, and it
Yeah.
is just me and my mother. I don't have my friends with
Yeah.
me. Albert's not.
You have no social support system outside of religion,
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. So.
Do you know what I really love? There's a line that you said, and it's really like, one, beautiful performance, scene, everything, but two, is really one of the things that like we as a cast doing the story that we're doing have spoken about a lot, is like our portrayal of dynamics and whether we forgive people and whether they
Yes.
deserve it, and to do with like mistreatment from your parents. And it was when Harold said, like, was it really that bad? And you said, I wouldn't feel this way if it wasn't.
Yeah.
I was really like,
Same.
that right there.
That's the show.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
That is the point of everything
Yeah.
that we're
Yeah.
doing. Because, like,
Yeah.
anyone who's gone through that really spends the whole time
Yeah.
being like, maybe it wasn't that bad,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
Maybe it wasn't
Because
that. But then it's like,
obviously
no,
That's
you
not for
wouldn't,
no
you
reason.
wouldn't
You don't
feel
these
this.
things for no
'Cause
reason.
I-
People
like,
don't make that up.
In that moment, I was thinking like, well, there probably are like parents who are actually doing a good job, and they just have shit kids. But that's not the case for
No.
like
I mean,
it,
it's
it
not
goes
a kid.
yeah, like cause kids are kids, you know, like they can
Yeah.
they can be absolute nightmares and they hate their parents. But like,
But there's a
but
difference.
there's
Yeah.
a difference when a child
Yeah.
like it's different from just acting out and like
Mhm.
being a bit naughty when I don't know, like
Yeah.
no, but I completely get that.
But that
But,
is
like,
why I think that
I
was
di-
one of
I
the most
didn't
beautiful
want
conversations
yeah,
I didn't want
ever.
Harold to think that I'm just being a kid. who
Yeah.
just
And
doesn't
he
like my
didn't.
parents. So
you know,
Yeah.
he didn't. He took and understood and was willing to hear you and willing to just let you speak,
Mm-hmm.
which I think was a huge thing in and of itself, because so often these girls are not allowed to voice their feelings, or if they do, it's like smacked down, or it's like put away, or it's something else.
Well,
he just held space for you to say
that's
everything
why
you needed to say to him.
with Madam B earlier,
Mhm.
a few episodes before, I was like, don't talk until I'm finished, because I was
Yes.
like, she will interrupt me.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't feel the need to say that with Harold. I was like, I
Mhm.
don't think he is going to interrupt me, and he didn't.
No, but he gave, like, every time you spoke, there was always, like, a really long
Yeah.
break to make sure you were, like,
Yeah.
done with your point,
Yes.
and to make sure,
Yeah.
before he, like, even when it was just, like, a one-line
Mhm.
thing,
Mm.
there was always, like, a really long, I'm going to make sure that you're done with
Yeah.
this point and give you the space before I give any sort of input back.
Yeah.
Because like, that was something that I noticed, was like,
Uh-huh.
oh no, there's really, like, he's
Yes.
listening and he's
Yeah.
waiting, and it is being
Mhm.
led by you.
Yeah.
Because I saw the pause as a part
I
of
saw
processing
Lyndon
as well.
as
It's a
Harold
case of like,
waiting.
Yeah.
like hearing what you said and then taking a moment to think, okay, this is what they said, and now I'm going to speak, instead of
Yeah.
just the thing where some people do, where they just, after someone finished speaking, they wasn't even listening. They're just
Yeah.
saying what they wanted to say. Like, they made up their mind what they're going to say halfway through what
Yeah.
the other person
Yeah.
said.
Yes. Yeah.
They took that moment to hear what you said, think about
Let
what you
it
said,
sink in.
let it sink in, then have the response.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I saw it, but I think like both can
But
very
I think
much
it was
be,
both of
yeah,
them.
it's very
I
much.
agree.
But, like, both of them are giving Agatha the space to say her
Yes.
point and actually
Yeah.
listening to it.
Yeah. And then the thing I really liked was that both of you sort of had this mutual. I don't know about anybody else, but from the end of the conversation, I was like, things aren't magically all okay now. You know, things don't get fixed, and you know, like, it's never that easy. These things are always really complicated. But when both people are willing to be honest and listen, you can actually still find levity in those moments.
Yeah.
Because then the way of like, shall we have a drink together? Shall we play cards? Let me have a look at your guns. You know, there were those little moments of like, both of you are having this really difficult conversation, probably the most difficult conversation both of them have ever had in their lives, and yet they're both still willing to find ways to make it, like, not okay, but just to make it not all, like, harrowing. Like,
It's the right step forward. It's
Yeah.
definitely a step
Yeah.
forward.
it was
And-
really beautiful watching.
And sorry.
Which is so lovely when something that this show struggles with the most is communication between
Yes,
people.
yeah.
Like, it's so
yeah.
lovely to actually
See it.
work.
Yeah. Because there was one moment where I just refused to look at Lyndon. It was when I was like, for a while I hated you. I was
No,
like,
that
I was like, I
so
can't look
good,
at that
yeah.
response. I can't look
Yeah.
because if
I couldn't
No.
look.
I
No.
could.
if Lyndon had like a specific face on, I was like, fuck, no, I can't, and I would have just broken down.
You
I
and
was
Lyndon
like, I
did
can't.
so beautifully.
I was like, I can't look at him because I can't just look. I've just said that I hate my dad, so that's a hard thing to say, especially when he's trying to.
Yeah.
He wasn't a bad dad. He just
Yeah.
did. He
But
just,
Agatha was valid for hating him,
Yeah.
and he needed to
He
hear
needed to
that,
hear
it.
and Agatha needed to say it.
So-
Can we be told what the response
From
was?
what it,
Unless you
from
don't
what
want
I
to
saw-
hear.
all
No,
I'm going to
go
say,
ahead.
from what I saw, my interpretation is a case of like it was like half surprise, but like half like I get it.
That's fair.
Like
yeah.
it's like I get it. Like yeah, after hearing everything, I get it. Well, that was my interpretation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a really lovely conversation.
It was so
It was
It was
beautiful.
so
And it may not
beautiful.
feel as satisfying as Agatha may have wanted it. Just like revenge, you know.
Yeah.
yeah.
But I wrote down at one point, just in all capitals, and underlined it. This is so beautiful.
Mm.
I was
Yeah.
just so like overwhelmed by the two of you.
Yeah, it was good to hear Harold say. I don't remember the exact line, but it was like along the lines of like, "I'm glad I'm alive to try and fix."
Yes.
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 That.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was like, "Oh yeah, good." It's
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
gorgeous.
That was one of the best lines we've had on the show. Like,
We had some fucking corkers in
Yeah.
these past 4 episodes of
Honestly.
like lines being said.
stunning.
You're gonna struggle to get quotes for our titles.
I'm not.
Oh, fair enough.
I just, yeah, that was so beautiful. And I feel like I have so much more to say, but also nothing.
But
because
I'm
it
just like in awe of it.
Yeah, and nothing needs to be said because it speaks for itself. Like the
Yeah.
whole scene. You
Yeah.
know?
Alright. Final point,
I'm scared.
just to end off there.
Mhm.
Alright, the final note I have is Talia cannot ever forgive Jonathan, asking him to leave the Brotherhood. So,
Okay.
what the fuck?
So, I've known.
Whoa. Hello? What's that?
My lip balm. I've known that this was going to happen for ages.
So have I.
I never told her. She
I
just
just
knew.
know.
But I never knew what was going to be the thing to set it off. Because I was listening to a song and then suddenly it hit me and it was like, oh no, like I actually can never forgive this man for not only for the fact that he lied to me forever, not for only for the fact that like he lied and hid all the stuff about my mother and that was like a burden for him, but on everything else that's followed in the way that he's been and the way that he's treated us and the way that he's viewed things and said things and been towards like me and towards Rosalind and towards like Agatha, towards all of us. And then Thomas died.
Thomas dying really set off a lot of things for all of us.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
So then Thomas died and she was like, oh, well, he's not going to care about that, and like even like that's going to affect me, and I don't think he's going to really care about that, and like that just sort of put life as a concept, like life and death, back into perspective for her. And then I had them all and they're gone now. And then something else happened and I don't remember what it was. But then the stuff with Madam B happened. Oh no, because then we saw Lucas.
Yes.
And we saw them all, and because I saw his face, and I was like, oh no, like she has realised that she will never forgive him, actually. And then all the stuff with Madam B happened, and she was like, oh, another adult has lied to me and betrayed me and let me down. And actually, I'm done with it now. Because that was, like, Talia didn't want to stay there because she needed to go speak to Jonathan. Like, she was going to go do that regardless. And then Harold was there, and she was like, well, now we really don't need you.
Yeah.
Because Harold has just told us stuff that you don't know, and he clearly knows more about what's going on, and you've not given us anything. So, like, on top of the fact that I can never forgive you, and seeing you, like, is so painful and difficult and fills me with anger because I have so much love for you, on top of all of that, you're useless here, like, you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
It's very interesting because I have a love-hate relationship with Jonathan.
Why is there any love?
It's not love, I guess. It's interesting.
But like
for me
as
because
a character,
character, it's very much a case of like everything he has done is done under the instruction of your father. His execution is the problem.
Yeah.
Because this is the thing, like, Gilbert has done so much of the same stuff. Like, he's lied to us our whole life and kept secrets and, like, hidden it all. But, like, and I think Talia said it, he never views her the same way.
Yeah.
Because you
That's what it comes down to, I
because
think.
it's very much a case of, like, there's a lot of things that you have said that you've hated Jonathan for, where I have just, like, as when I'm watching, I'm like, your dad's on the same thing. But you didn't mention that once in the kicking Jonathan out, which I think is important, because very much there were a lot of things you could have said which very much the defence of being like, your dad's on that, But everything you mentioned, everything you said of the reason why you can't have Jonathan there was very much a thing of like, these are actions done by you.
Yes, it was specific.
Very specific, which I think was very important, and I think it was very well done.
I agree.
Because I have reasons and thoughts about Jonathan, but everything you said was very good arguments, and there wasn't any arguing against the things you said.
No,
Yeah.
because he couldn't. Because
They were true. They were true things.
The thing I love about it and the order things played out in, I was saying this to you guys earlier, but I want to say it on the show, is that I think following the Agatha Harold conversation with the Talia Jonathan conversation really showed the difference in adults who are willing to take accountability for their actions and apologise and be humble and want to make something work. Because Jonathan at no point was like, you're right, I fucked up. He didn't, I don't think, remembering it.
I don't think so.
And
I
think
was in a
that's
bit
the
of a
difference.
state throughout it, but like, I don't think... Because again, it was one of those, like, I didn't know... Because I've played this out so many times, and I didn't know how it was going to go, and this is so... On terms of, like, the level of energy that it could have been, this was so low. And again, it's like, I rolled 2 persuasion checks, which always I'm all for that. And I got an 20 for Madam and I got an 18 for Jonathan.
Yeah.
And it's like, those never happen.
Yeah.
But it was the fact that, like, I rolled really early on, actually, before I'd said any of the stuff. So, like, technically, that could have been it. I could have said those, like, 4 lines and then he would have been, like, fine, and then left. But it was like, I rolled that and then I was like, oh, no, like, she actually needs to say all of this before he goes.
And that was, again, a really nice parallel with you two, was that you both, like, had just, like, had to say your things. And I think that these episodes really show the growth of the girls and their refusal to not say the things they need to say to the people they need to say them to.
Yeah.
So don't regress for Pete's sake. Because I don't want to be here.
Pete?
The guy you killed. All I want to say is I don't want to be back. All I'm saying is I don't want to be back on this table in a month and go, well, everything went out the fucking window. I don't want that.
I don't want you to do
that. Because the
there
one
was
thing...
so much growth since Thomas's death.
Thomas's death was really the catalyst for so much.
That is, like, the one thing that I will say about this, like, conversation with Jonathan, is that it was a conversation.
Yeah.
And I always knew that it was going to be going into it just, like, being really honest about how things are. But I almost always saw it building to her being very aggressive towards him. Because that's how she was, and, like, he would deny it, and then she'd be like, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah.
And that didn't happen. You know?
For a second, I thought Talia was going to kill him.
Taya spoke to me afterwards. I was like, yeah, so when Talia was like, No, it was when
you took him into the room and you were like, I've decided I can never forgive you and you can never be forgiven and you're not worth being forgiven. I've decided. I was feeling like, have you taken him in here to get rid of him? I was like, I knew, what you did had been in my head as a thing Talia was probably going to do for a long time.
Yeah.
But that was just the way that you said that for a second just gave me a like, wait, no, she's not going to do that. Okay, fine.
She's not going to do that.
I was like, I've decided you need to be eliminated. But like, you didn't do that.
Yeah.
I knew you weren't going to do that.
I think you handled it very well.
I'm very proud of that. I think she was very strong with it because, like,
Yes.
I've been so scared about her doing that because I was really like, this is going to destroy her. Because I think one of the things that is, like, it is very obvious because, like, it's her. But, like, she loves this man so deeply.
Yeah. That's why she's so angry.
And, like...
I think this is the first time it's been properly second, maybe third.
Fourth, fifth.
Okay, so it's not...
Maximum third. So I just had to replay all the other times.
that's
But I
fair.
think maximum third of the time where it's been, like, established that, like, those feelings are there. Because every other time you had an interaction with Jonathan, all I've seen is hate and anger. And it's very easy to forget that there's a very thin line between hate and love.
Yeah, like there's a reason
There
that
wouldn't
there's so
be
much
that
anger.
much hate if there hadn't been that much love.
Yeah, exactly. So it was a very well done, very well established, very important, and I'm glad Jonathan agreed to leave.
Yeah.
Me too.
It felt like, it was so interesting because it really reminded me of that conversation you had right before you took the keys and like left Stone, when he was like, I'm sorry that you have to marry a man, like things should be better for you. And then you like nabbed his keys. And I was like, they've actually come so far from that, like even though this is obviously like a harder conversation and this is really difficult and horrible for them both, like they were both being so honest with each other on such a level. I don't know, it felt like closure. It felt like the right end to the Talia-Jonathan dynamic. Like, to me, it felt very satisfying, but not in a like, way.
Yeah.
Just in a like, we're both on a level here and we understand what needs to be done, and what needs to be done is you not be here with me anymore. You know?
Anyone have any more points? Or are we done?
I don't think
I
so.
don't
I think
think
this
so.
was a very long
This was
talk.
a very long one.
Yeah, but like, I'll edit it, it'll be fine. And anyway, the episodes are like under an hour, so you can handle a long talks.
Yeah.
Also,
Long
we just went
Teapot.
absolutely mental for like half an hour of it, so, you know,
So true.
broke it up.
Favourite moments?
Oh, fuck me, I forgot about that. I actually...
For me, it's the funeral. I can't. It was heartbreaking. It was so sad, but it was, and even the Madam B bit, everything storytelling wise, all of it. I think the funeral and was my favourite part. I was enthralled at every second.
I think it's not so much a favourite moment, but I love the fact that all three of us kind of had like a confrontation today, that like we got something off our chest and we all did it in our own ways. We all showed like how we
the girls grew a lot in these 4 episodes, I think, like hugely.
I'm saying you only did this, so I can't like criticise you as much as I'd like to.
So I guess in that way, my favourite moments would be Rosalind with the Viscount, Talia with Jonathan, and Agatha with Harold.
Yeah, no fair.
I actually think mine's the same. I think I'm gonna take that.
I was gonna say
Copycat.
It's just true though.
Like, mine's just like Agatha. Mine's just Agatha with Harold and Agatha with Madam.
Yes. Yeah, that as well.
And the three of us being like, then I'm to blame, then I'm to blame.
That as an individual moment.
Like if I had like as just a like give me a 5-second snippet, that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, there were just so many beautiful moments.
And Agatha reading the letter she wrote as well.
Killed.
Yeah.
Those are favourite moments then, that's what. Yeah.
I love you.
I have a lot of favourite moments.
My favourite moment was all of it.
Honestly, this was such a huge amount of things.
Closing thoughts.
I don't know what to think anymore.
I'm scared.
I feel like the game's changed. I feel like we're in a very different era of the campaign after these four.
I think now, if you guys don't,
carry on,
proceed with, because now it's like, okay, there's Harold awake and you are having proper face-to-face conversations and Jonathan's gone and there's no more there are no more obstacles.
Yeah.
I think we're going to be back on finding our father.
Which is quite nice.
I'm going to tell you this right now. Any obstacles that come up will be obstacles put up by yourselves.
Yeah.
So don't do that.
I do have a demon watching me 24/7. I would like
that's what I was just about to say. I think the next arc is
the next small bit to finding the dads is getting you out.
And I also think Morningstar as well. I think.
Oh yeah.
I think that
something's going to come of that.
Well, they're important. Plot.
Yeah, and they're plot things rather than like us just going mental.
But it really feels like Thomas's death has put us into a different phase of the story.
It feels like a different show.
Yeah,
literally.
It's like we've gotten rid of one of the like main characters. We've got a new one in Harold.
One of the main characters.
We've kind of Madam B, like the whole thing is different and gone. I mean,
Thomas has died, and then we've got rid of Madam B and Jonathan.
Yeah.
So we've got.
We're back to being quite a like small.
Yeah.
In terms of like people who will do things again now, like because like we said, like Albert's gonna have to look after Harold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because he's just gonna have to.
Yeah.
So it's back to being the three of us.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
Yeah. I just think all of these girls are so fundamentally different than they were before these 4 episodes.
Yeah.
Like, I really feel like they're older. Like, they've all grown. I love them all so much, and I'm so proud of them. I really am, like, going to cry, actually.
I hope we get to play again soon.
Same.
I hope you guys don't regress in any ways.
I'm sure
I hope you stay with
let's
keep that anger and control it. I hope you... I don't know, just continue being Agatha. Like, I have no, like, just...
Agatha's the star of the show.
Like, it's like, I have no critiques.
No critiques.
Communicate.
I love her.
Just communicate. Genuinely, I don't want to be... Because Seth's favourite is Talia, remember? So, like, just don't fuck up.
Yeah.
I want us to carry on being friends, because Talia and Agatha are
to keep
doing so well
the way
right
you
now.
are right now.
Yeah. I don't want to have another.
I think they will, but like I think it's a while away before. Like I think a lot of things have settled before they get angry at each other
again. Because the effect of Thomas is going to stay
again.
for so long with them too.
Yeah.
My other thought that I haven't spoken about this whole time, which I've just remembered to mention, is I would really like it if things felt resolved between Rosalind and Talia.
Yeah, there is that.
Soon.
None of
because
no
they still
Rosalia
don't.
stuff happened.
Yeah. All it felt like for me, it didn't feel like anything got worse or better. It just felt like this is on pause because it's not important right now.
Yeah.
We can't do anything with it. This is about Thomas. This is not about us. And there's nothing we can do anyway.
Yeah.
So
I
we couldn't.
sort of felt that.
And there wasn't any like bad feeling about that. But I, as Taya, would just really like them.
Yeah,
to be...
I would like them to be able to like have a conversation.
Yeah.
I just don't see that happening for a while.
Yeah.
You're just gonna have to sneak her.
Yeah. And I think she is going to 2, maybe.
Spoilers.
I don't know. Just like at some point, like
Yeah.
because she's not gonna stay there forever, and there's gonna be things where Lilith can't be 5 steps behind her.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
Well,
Until then,
thank you
thank
so
you.
much for
Yes.
being on this journey with us because it's just the most.
Ever.
It's
Yeah.
we love you. We love our patrons. We love everybody.
We love Mama Tag.
We love Mum Attack. You know,
Thank you,
Yeah.
Rio.
like
for
and
the
subscribe
thing,
and things.
yeah.
Thank you for hosting.
Thank
Yes,
you.
very
We're
good.
really happy to have Rio hopefully for the
it's-
foreseeable future.
There's, yeah, there's,
hosting
yeah.
for-
Maybe we should just say it. Like there is a chance that now I'm just hosting.
Rio might be permanent.
Maybe.
Like-
We'll see. But
It
like
depends on-
hopefully.
yeah.
It depends if you like me or not. Guys. I hope you like
Hashtag
me.
bring back Tag.
Hashtag bring back Tag.
But yeah, we love you so much, and it really means the world to be sharing this story with you because it means everything to us. It's like so genuinely.
Yeah.
Thank you. Have a great week.
Until next time.
Submissive and
Submissive and
subscribable.
subscribable.
Submissive and subscribable.
Mwah.
Bye.
Bye.
Bonsoir.